watching Tabletop Legends. If you like the episode, subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to enable notifications. A new episode goes up every Monday. You can also join us live on the Proficiency Bonus Twitch channel every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy. Tabletop Legends would like to thank our presenting sponsor, the 8th House and Marble Moon Studio, an independently and ethically sourced witchy lifestyle and home goods shop, supporting small businesses and creating a safe, inclusive space and community for witchy folk. Find them online at marblemoonstudio.com or shopthe8thhouse.com. Hello, welcome to Tabletop Legends. I'm Matt, your host and Dungeon Master, joined as always by my friends, and you probably can't see him on the stream, but by my very sad cone of shame wearing dog, who has rather insistently decided that he needs to be in my lap right now in order to be satisfied, so he'll be my co-dungeon master for as long as he decides he wants to sit here. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 12, I believe, of Tabletop Legends.
Sure, we'll go with that.
And we are picking up tonight as the party resumes their journey from the town of Stone Mill a little bit southward to the town of Woodpine. They are sort of heading towards the capital of Mithlinday, as was the direction given to them originally by Tori and Idrian once they had recovered whatever artifact or otherwise resolved the issue going on in Stone Mill. They have also sort of picked up the secondary objective of chasing down the group of other relic hunters referred to as Rogers and the Boys.
Oh yeah.
One of whom is a girl.
One of them is a female.
And who robbed the Dwarven Crypt in Stone Mill and stole some sort of a magical item that had been in the sarcophagus in there that the party had seen, but decided to be respectful of the site and had not touched. Rogers and the boys apparently went back later, sleep-spelled Sexton Bartug Deep Mountain to get the key off of him, and then robbed the tomb and pieced out of town.
I should have taken it.
So the party has collected 150 gold from the Inquisitor for successfully helping to stop the zombie invasion. They sort of half-truthed their way through what had happened, telling her about the creature that they encountered, but neglecting to tell her about the wand, carrying it with themselves for now, to at least see what Tori and Idrian's mysterious employers are all about before they decide what they're going to do with this thing. They spent a good portion of that immediately buying a cart and a old but still sturdy draft horse named Henrietta, who is currently hitched up to the cart that they purchased, and the group have just set off out of town on their way south. Obviously, Russell is not with us tonight. He, we're hoping, is going to be here maybe like after the break. He's got a work thing that has delayed him, so he's trying to make it here. But we'll see what happens with that. Otherwise, you guys are in the cart. It is mid-morning on, I believe, 14 Leaf Fall. Yes, 14 Leaf Fall. Mid-morning, you have just set out southbound on the caravan trail, heading in the direction of Woodpine, which, you know, is about a 4-day journey by land.
I spy with my little eye.
It's still a leaf. It's always a leaf.
It may not be a leaf. What if we go through the mountains and there's no leaves?
Why does she insist playing these games?
Then it's going to be a rock.
Why? Birdman, why?
pull out the head.
Nice boy. Find us alive.
Put
that away.
That head is starting to smell
We're
pretty
into it.
bad.
don't know.
Really decay has started to set in.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but that head is starting to smell.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're not.
I don't feel like you're sorry at all.
I'm a little bit sorry.
All
Do you
right.
want to get down?
Less forthcoming than I thought it would be.
You're telling me.
Does anybody have any alcohol?
Can I check to see if I have alcohol?
We should have a stash of alcohol, I believe, from Alar's adventures, but I don't know how much is left.
I drank most of it, so
You guys have enough for like a drink each either. You did not stock up alcohol.
all right, here. Yeah, what's left out of that bottle?
I'm just gonna dump it on a bunch of rags and try to like mop up the gross of the head and put it back in the bag.
You wasted alcohol for your
Now I have
dead head thing.
Doesn't smell as much.
Is that true? I think it's just as bad. Like skin is probably sloughing off when you try to like rub it down.
Pretty gross.
Perhaps I should burn and bury it when we stop next.
Maybe.
We can stop now, and you can burn and bury it, and then we don't have to deal with it.
Who's driving the cart?
I guess I am. I am all for...
We'll pull this card.
Yeah, just...
Bury it.
Alright. I'll
Say your piece. Shovel your holes and let's go.
Must not make comment. Must not make comment. Must not make comment. Okay.
You done?
Yeah,
What?
I'll go.
I didn't say anything.
I'll go off and try to like burn and bury it with the alcohol and burn it. Make sure it's
Secretly?
sufficiently singed. Just
Easy enough to walk off
Just,
a little
like,
ways off the
20
trail
feet.
into the woods. Dig a small hole, kind of put the head in there.
It is going 30 feet down.
Dig
Like 15.
That's a really big
dig an
hole.
unnecessarily large hole for a head.
Yeah.
Like,
I could crush it.
No veggies. That's fine.
you burn it up. Does not smell any better burning than it did previously. And you bury what has remained in the ground and recover over the space where you had put it before returning to the cart.
While he's burning it, can I find some like smelly flowers to try to
Make a nature check.
undo?
You smell like disappointment. I just want you to know that.
It's fine.
Is it fine?
Nature 11.
You're able to find a few hardier blooming flowers. There's really not much this time of year as it is drawing towards winter. They're not particularly fragrant. You kind of like it's the best you can do for right now.
We'll just close our eyes and pretend that it smells like a spring day.
You have a much better imagination than I if you can pull that off.
I didn't say it was gonna work.
While you return to the cart, Nula has like 2 flowers stuffed in her nostrils.
One's singeing a little bit.
Just
At least this is a familiar smell. I guess so.
Right.
doesn't bother me that much.
Everybody on? Good. Ha!
Me either.
You snap the reins once everyone's back on the cart, and Henrietta kind of clops off at a leisurely pace, heading south down the caravan trail. The day is rather brisk. The clouds overhead create sort of just a gray overcast to the sky. you get the sense that it is not too much longer before you'll be starting to have to worry about snow. Moving south will help a little bit. Once you get sort of to lower elevation, further away from the mountains, the winters in Niveria are not particularly harsh. Once you get there, but you make your way along, kind of traveling at a leisurely pace. About midday, kind of stop, have a meal, give Henrietta time to graze a little bit and rest before you set back out on the trail. There are very few people out and about at this time of year. You pass just a couple of other travelers sort of towards the latter half of the day. It is a young man and another one who looks like it could be perhaps his father. They're traveling on foot. They have both heavy packs that are like overstuffed, it seems, on their back. As you reach perhaps an hour or so before sunset, you kind of see them coming from the other direction. They see you as you sort of approach. They move off to one side of the path, the caravan path, and continuing on their way. And just sort of, they look in your general direction as you guys pass, and they keep walking.
Yar gives him a friendly wave, well aware of how odd a picture we must have of a stone giant, a dragonborn, gnome, half-elf, half-orc, and Mr. I like to play with skulls.
They don't know that. I'm just a human.
Oh, if only they knew.
Normal human man.
Do they look concerned?
They look sort of curious. You are kind of an odd group to be traveling around. Particularly Osrius and Nula. A lot of people in this region probably have never seen a Goliath or a Dragonborn before. They don't look necessarily hostile or anything. They are on guard. They are sort of wary of you, as one would be traveling on the road. Just gotta keep an eye out in case you guys turn out to be bandits or something. They just watch.
Hey, it's in our covered cart as we're going down.
Nothing to see here.
We definitely didn't steal this. I guess I'll shoot the older gentleman a message asking if they need rations.
You're using magic for this?
Yes.
Like a brain
the message spell, yeah. Because I figured, after we're a few feet away, I'll think, no.
Okay. So you do as you guys are closing in.
Yeah.
Okay. So as Alar is sort of waving, and they're kind of waving back, you do this message, and you see the older of the two kind of violently starts back, and he's looking at your guys' cart in alarm. His son next to him kind of looking at his father, looking at the cart, unsure of what's going on. And the man says, "What witchcraft is this?"
What?
Huh?
Sorry. Wanted to know. They were a little far. I didn't feel like yelling.
What did you do?
I just cast message that Nailard did this.
To people who rarely see magic, if at all, have seen magic in their entire lives.
That's a fair
We don't have any money.
Well, I apologize for my companion. He He likes to play with what little magic he is capable of. Peace be upon you, stranger. We
Sorry.
Think nothing of it.
He merely wished to know if you would like a spare ration or two.
He looks very. Now he looks suspicious of you guys. No, we're fine.
Well, safe journey to
Well, I
you.
think you're
Kind of like
Yeah,
He
safe
gets
journey.
trundle on his
Woodpine
way
is
again.
just a few hours down the road.
Stone Mill, you mean?
Snowmill. So,
Hi. Good day to you.
and to you.
And they kind of, you see them sort of move off the older individual at a bit of a brisker pace. The son following behind him. For any who are care to look every so often until you guys get sort of out of their sight, you see like furtive glances are thrown over shoulders in the direction of your cart.
Well, we're just quite the welcoming party for here, aren't we? I know what you had was good intentions, but maybe just
Yeah, I'll use my outside voice.
dial it back.
The less people that know that we are capable of performing magic, the better.
That's probably
Stern, but fair.
Alright. The remainder of your traveling day, the last few hours before the sun goes down, does pass without incident. You don't meet anybody else on the road as you guys are traveling. As the sun begins to draw down, the path is fairly straight, every now and again kind of curving a little bit. It would be possible, if you were so inclined, to continue to travel past dark. Otherwise, it's about time to kind of find a spot for camping for the evening.
Yeah, let's find a spot to camp.
Yep.
They're on foot. They're not going much faster than we are. We're only a few hours behind them. We might be able to catch up to them. Well, at least I hope they're on foot.
We can call it a night as long as we start early tomorrow.
Then yeah, I'm gonna start looking for a decent spot to pull the cart over to the side of the road.
Okay. Doesn't take you all that long. The woods are beginning to change as you get further and further away from the mountains. There are still a lot of coniferous trees, a lot of pines and firs and such. You are starting to see the inclusion of some more deciduous trees here and again, which, as kind of the dying down of everything for the winter has largely taken hold. The forest alongside either side of this caravan trail is not especially dense, so it is fairly easy to find a nice place you can pull off a decent way away from the caravan trail and comfortably set up your camp.
Right. Any of you less skilled in hunting?
Nope.
I could try.
Definitely try.
All right. Would you like my short bow?
No. I think I'll be okay.
All right. And I will see about getting us a fire going. And
can help level out the grounds.
all right. You two want to look for some fresh water?
Okay.
Sure.
Let's look for some water.
Don't go too far.
Okay, so I really should make a printout of the continent map here to give you guys a little bit of context. You have traveled southward from Stone Mill, heading vaguely southeast for the better part of the day along the caravan trail. The Nivian River, rather, you do know should be anyway, a little bit to the east of your current path. And you have, what are you doing for hunting? You got hunting trap or?
No, I'm just gonna go out. I do have. What I figured that could help is like possibly beast sense or commune with nature.
Yeah, you can certainly do that.
Yeah. Beast sense.
Okay. So you guys are heading looking for water. Go ahead and make a nature check. One of you can do it with advantage if you're doing it together.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it should not be me.
I'll roll plus.
I have +2.
I have +0.
Yes, it's me. 7.
7.
What was that?
Found a puddle.
I don't know if that's clean.
It's water. We'll boil it.
You sure about that?
No.
Not at all.
Honesty is the best policy.
Beast sense.
Is it only with like?
I don't think that does what you think it does.
Okay, so it's commune with nature then.
Commune with nature makes sense.
Yes.
Beast sense, you actually have to
It's actually, like-
have the animal
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, that's no problem. All right, so yeah, you guys, you somehow are not able to find the Nivian River. Perhaps the portion of the caravan trail you stopped at has diverged from where the river runs. Maybe it's a little further away than is reasonable to walk. You do find sort of a more than a puddle, but not quite what you would call a
Standing
pond.
water.
Kind of standing water.
boy.
It is questionable as to how drinkable it might be with that nature roll. You're like, it's wet.
Meaning it could be
It's
piss.
better than nothing.
Could be piss. Just saying.
Oz, did you make that puddle?
No.
All right, so you're commune with nature.
Yes.
So you are looking to sense out where some creatures are within.
Yeah, and also kind of get like a lay of like we are setting up camp to make sure like we are necessarily like I guess not being surrounded by something that could potentially harm us.
Okay, so basically, the way this works, you can kind of pick 3 things.
Yes.
That you want. So you can get.
It's like it should be
You
the
get terrain, you can get water, plants, animals. What are your you say looking for animals?
animals.
You want sort of like knowledge of terrain,
Yeah, and we'll do the water.
and you
too.
want water. Okay. So
There
you
go.
find yourself a quiet spot off away from the camp. You settle down, and just like you had been taught, you spend some time quieting your mind and letting your senses become one with the slow-moving, quiet consciousness of nature around you. And you are suddenly able to sort of feel with the tactile sensation of the ground in a large area around you. You're able to see and hear and smell through the eyes, ears, and noses of hundreds upon hundreds of small animals in the area. And once you've kind of absorbed enough information, you withdraw back into yourself and you stand up. you know that you guys are in fact about 1.5 miles west of where the Nivian River flows. So it's a little far from where your camping spot is. There is a small herd of deer nearby to your current position, as well as you find a couple of locations within pretty close distance where there are some burrows with a number of rabbits. You have kind of a few options of things you might want to try and snag up for eating for the evening.
I know that maybe our quest for water wasn't so fulfilling, but I do get a sense that from the west here, a little bit further out, is the river. About 1 mile.
Should we go venture back out?
If you so do
It's gonna
choose.
it's gonna be an hour or so there and back again in the dark.
Oh, alright. Maybe tomorrow.
Walter, does your bird friend there have the ability to maybe catch rabbits?
She's an owl right now, so
Your bird friend?
yes. She'll swoop over and just land on Oz, I guess.
You're welcome to come along if you would like.
I can't see in the dark.
Well, neither can I. We can.
You have some time yet. It's like twilight at this point.
So we're good. If you want to take the burrows that are over, pointing in the direction over this side of the forest, I can take the deer.
Sure. Do that. Have her swoop back, I guess.
Alright. So as you guys head out in that direction, you split up, you head towards where the deer are. You head where he points out to you. And after he sort of shows you what he's talking about, you see kind of in the hollow of knotty tangle of roots of a partially upturned tree and some scrubby undergrowth, you see there are a number of holes which descend underground, indicating the home of these rabbits. So, as he goes off to do his thing, looking for maybe a deer, what are you doing?
I'll see if I can get Morgan to fly by and scoop up a owl as I mold earth to kind of like shake him out.
Okay. So have Morgan make a survival check.
Survival is wisdom based.
Yes.
Okay.
She can do so with advantage. This is sort of within an owl's wheelhouse.
Yeah. Yeah, 15.
Okay. So you release Morgan up into the air. She takes off on large silent wings and kind of ascends up into the canopy a little bit. And as you use mold earth to kind of churn the ground beneath where you know these burrows are, she kind of goes on standby, and a pair of rabbits come bolting out of one of the holes as Morgan comes swooping down, owl death from above, and just grabs one of these rabbits in her powerful talons and hauls it up into the sky before sort of returning to you with it lands clutched in her talons. So
Take off, break his neck.
have a rabbit.
One rabbit.
Meanwhile, make a stealth check.
Great. Alright. That's a 6.
Okay. You approach where you know that you had sensed this small group of deer before. You make your way out into an area where a number of the trees are have been cleared away. Looks like perhaps there was some sort of logging or activity here where these trees were actually cut down. But it's created a little bit of a clearing here, and there are about a dozen deer, kind of legs folded underneath them, sitting in this clearing, settling down for the evening. As you sort of approach to the edge of the tree line and crouch down to kind of take a look in their direction, the wind very gently kind of blows from your back in the direction, and a bunch of deer.
Speak with animals.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. So you cast Speak with Animals as 12 deer look in your direction.
Alright. My group is hungry. You must not. No. No. Okay. Just let it happen. My group is hungry. As we all know, the nature of things, I only choose to do this out of desperate need. I have the utmost honor and respect for you all out here.
You get a sort of general sense of confusion from the herd of deer, as they find that they have all of a sudden somebody is speaking to them. You would guess you've bought yourself a few seconds to do something to try and get one of these deer.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of get the premonition starting to
bounce.
roll off of them of the flight instinct.
How
is about to,
how close am I to them right
you're
now?
about 30 feet from them right now.
Can I javelin the one closest to me?
You'd have to throw it.
I'd have to throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it.
Okay. So go ahead and make an attack roll. So as you kind of you cast this beast speech out to them, buying them sort of a moment of confusion, which gives you just enough time to slip a javelin into your hand, as they then spring to their feet and begin to bolt for the far side of the clearing.
That's 20.
That's funny.
I saw it roll ever since
I was watching. I was like,
it was
oh,
a
no.
4, then it was like a 20.
So 12 deer kind of spring up and begin to leap and run towards the far end of the clearing as you let fly with a javelin, and it flies true, and it strikes one of the deer that was a little slower in standing up, right kind of in the side, and pierces clean through it. It does give sort of one but falls clean. The kill is otherwise clean. It doesn't. There's no suffering. It was a clean throw.
Going up to the body, I kind of take the javelin out, put my head against it a little bit, and be like, your death is not in vain. It's for a purpose. And then I just pick up the body.
Okay. You sort of offer your kind of respect to the creature which has given its life for your sustenance, and pack it up and begin to bring it back. So for the rest of you guys, Walter and Osrius are away from camp for about 30-40 minutes. It is definitely getting dark at this point. It would be more than enough time for you guys to have a campfire set up and kind of be situated. The cart tucked away. Henrietta hitched in a kind of a spot she can sort of graze and rest comfortably for the evening.
Throw a blanket over the horse. Sit down.
Cal,
Yeah.
you collect rocks, right?
Break out the whittling.
Sure.
I thought you collect rocks.
You don't have a collection. I know things about rocks.
So tell me about this rock. And I pull up the glowy rock. Tell me about it.
You can definitely make a nature check.
16.
So you are you're fairly certain that it is not it's not like a magical rock. There are certain varieties you've never seen them in person, but you have read a number of accounts of certain types of rock, certain types of crystal formations that occur naturally in a number of different places around the world. Some naturally give off a bioluminescence or a phosphorescence. Some of them absorb certain types of light and will then sort of like a glow in the dark type of deal. This seems like it is a particular variety of stone that, for whatever reason, absorbs the particular wavelength of light from either a combination of moon or a combination of moon and ring light from Azuria's sky, and phosphoresces.
Glowstone.
It's a glowstone.
Yeah, it absorbs light. Stores it up for later.
Have you
Glow in the
ever
dark?
seen one before?
No.
So cool. Thank you. Because the villagers gave to you. And now I have a glowy rock.
Treasure it forever.
I will. Put back in my pocket.
Toss the shavings into the fire.
What are you doing?
So, what are we gonna do
You
with this?
wanted me to whittle something for you, so I'm whittling.
Whittle away. What were you saying?
What are we gonna do with this water?
You can boil it.
That would probably be wise, but I don't want to set the boil until we've got something to eat.
It's got a bunch of dirt in it.
We can strain out some of the dirt. I need. Is there the cart? Is there any spare canvas from the covering?
Brom has a shirt that was destroyed. We can cut off the bloody parts.
Could do that.
Yeah, that's awful, covered in blood, and I'd rather not.
Water
just
and
one pollution
water and
forever.
hepatitis.
Yeah, let's not trade one.
That's beautiful.
We're gonna boil it. It's fine.
Lingering mummy blood.
One drop at a time.
So, we'll do canvas. All right. So, set out the pot. Slowly pour the water in. That'll strain out some of the dirt.
And then we boil it.
Yeah.
Alright. Boil, boil.
You just turn on a fantasy stove. Is that what happened?
I mean, we have a fire going, so yeah.
She's like,
Yeah, she's like turning on the gas burner.
very simple, very music.
Yeah, that's-
Okay,
I guess that must be something that you do guarding the pass.
We have to make time to go by.
So is that like a game that you play?
Yeah.
It's called Gas the Fire.
You'll have to teach it to us sometime trying to figure out how we're going to drink water.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to be the cleanest water, but it'll be much more drinkable.
I think as long as nothing's swimming in it.
As long as we are slightly less likely to get something died, it'll be fine.
It's not the dirtiest water I've had to drink.
Filtering through the canvas will remove a lot of the particulates, and boiling it should make it fairly safe to drink. You guys are fairly competent in enough things to know that you should be okay to drink this water.
Should we get to drink this?
So Walter, you and Osrius return to the campsite. You have rabbit in hand. Osrius comes back with a deer kind of slung over one shoulder.
Okay, well, we're going to eat fine for the next few days. Well done.
I would like to believe that Walter comes back very excited with his rabbit. And then a couple minutes later, Andres comes back.
That's why you got the rabbit.
Alright.
No, I putting a hand on Walter's shoulder, being like, "You did good."
Alright, so, rabbit stew or deer stew?
Yes.
Think rabbit stew, and then we make the deer into jerky.
But that will take days.
Also, we need salt.
Could you dig up some salt?
I don't think we're that close to the ocean.
It's okay.
Right.
I tried.
I guess deer stew.
Alright.
Alright, so somebody can make a survival check to harvest
Plus
meat.
2.
I got plus
-1.
2.
Plus
I got a
one.
plus 2 as well.
Alright.
So, I mean, anybody's really.
I think you should do it.
Yeah.
You're the one who went hunting. Makes much more sense for you to be comfortable dressing a deer than any of us.
Story wise, yes. Role wise, no. We don't want to ruin
Alright.
It's
Alright.
way
I'll
more
do it.
fun when it goes poorly.
it. No. I don't want to waste my
That's
net 20
alright.
on that.
I roll a nat 20.
See,
So-
see, there we go.
You quickly go about
Yeah, that wouldn't have been
without the unnecessary amount of detail. You recover about 25 pounds of venison from this deer.
That looked easy. I'm gonna try to do the same with the rabbit.
Alright, make a survival check.
It's a forward.
Well, that's ruined.
You just imagined it like,
This looks so easy.
Be
So
like-
I just whipped out my dagger and just kind of had at it. And
I feel like I'm behind you being like, no, lift the leg, no, not there, no, and it's ruined.
Right.
And,
Yeah, I was going to gather at the entrails, carry them off a distance. Hey, come with me. We need to bury these. Otherwise, we might attract something. Bring whatever is left of that rabbit, too.
Maybe your bird would like some.
give her the eviscerated remains of whatever's in my hand. A pile of ex-rabbit.
Even the owl familiar is a little like, kind of like half-heartedly eats a little bit.
This is not recognizable anymore.
No,
Yeah,
I go off away.
I'll just go off and just pop a hole in the ground.
bury what he's done.
Just shuffle it around.
You guys bury up the disjecta membra of your hunting expedition, leaving you with more than enough meat for a few days, assuming you can keep it edible somehow, and easily enough make a nice sort of traveler's venison stew. Brom spends more than is acceptable amount of time reading you guys select quotes out of that diary that you had given him.
Sorry about that.
Just gonna whittle.
Wonder who
Gonna
did
whittle.
So, at this point, as the sun has gone down, and your plans are to leave fairly early in the morning, what is your guys' watch order?
Second.
Second watch.
I could do the last.
I'll
The
do the
first.
third.
Okay.
Just sleep with it.
Brahma's gonna rest. He's still trying to shake off his exhaustion
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah, that's
So he'll just sleep kind of through the night. All right, go ahead and make me perception checks.
I'm conjuring up Woozle. So, Weasel,
17.
15.
and for me,
24.
Okay.
Nat 1.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
And that's the better of the two.
And it was your second, right?
I'm first.
First, second, third, fourth.
No, I'm fourth. He's
Third,
fourth.
fourth.
Okay. Alrighty. You guys set up for your watches. Tents go up. Rom just hucks himself into the back of the cart to sleep in there for the night. Cal, you spend the first portion of your watch kind of keeping an eye on the camp. At a certain point, the cloud cover does clear away a little bit, and the stars and the rings in the sky are very bright. They give a lot of illumination to the surrounding forest, giving you excellent visibility during your posting. The night is fairly calm, fairly quiet. Your watch passes without incident, and you wake Nula up for her watch. As you guys switch, Kel heads off to bed. Nula, you kind of sit up for your watch. About an hour and a half into it, you kind of find yourself looking into the sort of the dwindling remains of the fire, reflecting on many a long night watch up on the walls at the keep outside of Lyra, and kind of the boredom of your time there, and you sort of snap and realize, like, oh, I've been daydreaming, and you shake yourself back to alertness. But nothing you notice happens during your watch. You wake Kel, Alar. Your watch, quiet, uneventful. It is a still night. The sky would seem to indicate that tomorrow will be a clear, bright day, hopefully a little warmer than it had been the day before. Your watch passes without incident. And as you go to wake Osrius, he kind of trundles out of his rest and sets up for a watch of his own. Osrius, during your watch, everything mostly stays quiet. The sun, you see, is beginning to rise. So the sky overhead is steadily starting to get lighter, and if you get to that pre-dawn kind of blue-gray of the sky just before it starts really lightening up. Way off in the distance, sounds like you think to the south. You hear a very, very faint sound, which you can't quite identify what it is. It's sort of just like the faintest echo of, like, I said echo. She didn't hear it either. Her perception check is not good. It's just sort of this faint, like, it almost sounds like when you've heard wild animals, like larger things like bears and stuff, but it's extremely distant, just barely on the edge of your perception, somewhere kind of to the south. It only happens once. Just kind of listen. You don't hear anything after that. Other than that, the remainder of your watch passes quietly. Sun comes up, right as it's sort of light enough to travel. As agreed upon, you wake the group. You guys begin your preparations to head out for the day. Anything you're doing before you get on your way?
I'm just gonna take our camp and just remake it all to rough terrain.
Sure. Problem.
Anybody else hear anything on their watches?
Nope.
No. Scooter? Nope.
Nope, nope.
I don't think it's a mean for concern, but I heard a very faint, almost like a roaring rustle, maybe way off in the south. Very faint.
Roughly the direction we're headed. Okay. We'll just have to
It's
keep an
pretty
eye.
far away.
We'll keep an eye out.
Alright, well,
pretty far away. You might
one of
want-
the others wants to run the cart. I'll keep my short bow handy.
I'll
Alright.
run the cart.
We'll send Morgan up to fly over us.
Do I have to roll anything to drive the cart?
Just, no, not for like, if you guys start getting to like maneuvers or a high-speed chase, you will. But just to like head along the caravan trail, you do not.
Alright.
If you want to drift the cart off road, then you have to do it.
Becomes like GTA.
That's right. Fast and the Furious is Urian Drift.
Name of the
Well,
episode.
we've got...
We probably can't
Can't
use
get
Fast and the Furious in our episode title.
Henrietta's Wild Ride.
Alrighty, so you guys head off, starting your travel for the day. Alar, as you had suspected, it is a clear, calm day. The sun is up, and the added warmth that it provides makes travel a little more manageable. Is everybody riding in the cart? Is anybody walking beside the cart?
I'll be walking beside it. Scooter will be on my shoulder.
I'll be in the cart.
And I'm happily in the cart.
Sounds good.
I
Yeah.
don't want to be walking around.
Oh, Henrietta, nice.
Otherwise known as Pony Soprano.
It's Pony Soprano, sir.
It's Henrietta now.
And we will respect her life decisions.
You need your Pony Soprano.
I didn't name it.
Pony Soprano may or may not be the noble steed of
Murderbeard.
Russell's character in the other game.
I don't know what I expected.
Exactly.
About 3 hours into your guys' travel, as you make your way down this caravan trail, you see up ahead of you the bottom of a cart as it is on its side, like wheels kind of faced in your guys' direction.
Whoa.
That's a good sign.
No.
Well,
Is this a good sign?
it was worth a shot.
Oh my god, it's a skeleton. What is that weird form of creature? Whatever the hell that is.
As you guys approach, there are a number of people around this cart. They appear to be removing things from it and trying to. You see the cart seems to have contained what, as you sort of draw closer, you see looks like it was probably like grain and supplies and things. A bunch of it has sort of spilled over. They are in the process of, from what you can tell, doing their best to kind of collect the damaged supplies and sort of put them back together and stack them neatly aside from the overturned cart. There are 4 individuals there. As you guys approach, they sort of hear you guys coming from a ways off on your cart. They turn to look. You see that 2 of them just appear to be wearing kind of plain traveling clothes. The other 2 are a little more heavily armored. You see they have like some kind of boiled leather armor. They carry long swords at their hips. The horse that was drawing this carriage, you see, is kind of sprawled in the middle of the caravan trail, unmoving. And as you guys sort of approach, one of the men turns in your direction and he calls out. He says, "Ho, travelers! We've had a spot of trouble. Do you think perhaps you might be able to lend us a hand?"
As soon as he says that, I'm going to see through Morgan's perception, and I'm going to have her fly over this way to get a look on the other side.
Okay. So you guys, from inside the cart next to you, Walter, like, dips his chin to his chest, and above, Morgan flies off to the side. So, as the owl goes, is anyone responding to these guys as they stand there?
What seems to be the problem?
The one who spoke, one of the armored ones, I guess. The cart, the caravan, was attacked in the early hours of the morning last night. Big bastard. Owlbear by the looks of it. Knocked the cart clean over. Killed one of our horses. Hauled off the other one. Along with one of our party.
Ew.
Go ahead.
I turn to Ozros. What do you have heard last night? Been an owlbear?
Hard to say. I mean, maybe.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. At this point, I'm going to step out of the cart and like stand next to Nula, just being like, and kind of like look over to Walter maybe, like inside the cart.
I'm just dipped out, so.
It's just,
Yeah.
So just a few hours ago, which way did it go?
Points off to the east of you guys towards the river.
Does Brom want to stay with the cart and we can...
We're going east, but I don't know that we have time.
Do I see anything on the other side of the cart?
As Morgan kind of flies over, you see there are like a trio set of like rips along the starting from sort of the kind of the side and going part of the way over, where it looks like something basically just like yanked the cart over. But there's not like a bunch of guys with crossbows hiding back there or anything like that. The one who had spoken, as you guys are kind of drawing up, he says, "I hate to ask, but you look like a capable enough bunch." He sort of looks at like how giant Oreos is as he says this. I was the biggest damn owl bear I've ever seen, and well, if there's any chance our man is still alive, sort of points at the two in sort of normal clothes. He says, "These lads are just farmers. We were hired to escort their cart. No offense, but they can't hold their own in this type of fight. We could use the extra muscle."
Alright.
I'm inclined to help.
We're giving up on finding those relic hunters if we take this detour.
Now if we do it fast.
No matter how fast we do it, they already have a head start. And we're behind.
You didn't happen to see a trio of people come by this way earlier, did you?
One in a hood doesn't speak.
2 males and a female.
Oh, one of them was big, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Kind of dumb looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's them.
Earlier yesterday?
Damn, we're a day behind them. I'm not sure we could catch them even if we ran through the night for the next 3.
Meanwhile, while they're talking about, I'm gonna go on over and
See if you can right the cart.
yeah.
What is your lifting capacity?
If I make it powerful build, it counts 1 size larger, and push, drag, or lift, it is 2,040 pounds. So yeah, that's
So, just in case it's slightly over a ton.
I mean, if you, I think it's like it might be already set to that. Originally, it's 1,000. It's 1,020 pounds.
Either way,
I think it would be.
cart weighs about 400 pounds. So they're kind of they're sort of talking amongst themselves as you approach. You see the 2 men kind of in like farmers' garb are the ones who are like trying to gather up their kind of lost supplies. You walk around them, and then they're in the process of kind of one of them says to the other, "Oh, that was I don't know how we're going to afford another horse." You know, he kind of like smacks him. He's like, "Don't be a shit. One of their buddies got taken too. We can replace the horse." And as they're kind of like talking, you just sort of go around them and just like under the downsides of the cart, and you just like with one heave sort of like and the cart with a great lurch goes and rights itself, and there is sort of a silence for a moment as like the 2 who are going about putting their supplies back together and talking, and the 2 guards who have been speaking with the rest of your party, everybody kind of like,
Thanks, Azrius.
Not a problem.
you hear one of the farmers go like, "Holy shit."
I give out a chuckle.
There's a chance that man may still be alive, but he won't be for long.
Owlbears are vicious.
We got
And
this.
we're not going to be able to help everyone. We're not going to get very far if we stop every time anyone's in need.
You were right there. But they have a full day ahead of us. Were they on foot?
Yes, I believe so.
It's not
In
getting
some
any-
kind of a
their lead is not getting
trouble?
any smaller.
We could ride through the night.
We'd probably have to do that even if we don't stop.
Fine, you guys go on ahead. I'll see about the owlbear.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm a cat.
All right,
We
then.
really need to get on. We really need to get ahead of these guys.
All right, then you three head on with the cart. We'll catch up.
Yeah.
So wait, is it those three?
Yes.
Okay. We'll catch up to you.
Brahm, I suspect Brahm knows a thing or two about the ways and means of where these relic hunters might go to offload their prizes.
Brahm kind of like leans out the cart. He's like, I might know a guy.
I suspect we might know similar people, but in case we don't catch up to you in time, you'll know what to do.
I'll see what I could do. He says, for what it's worth, it's probably going to take him a couple of days in Woodpine to either sell this thing off or head on to where they're going. We might still be able to catch him. Not that I really want to fight an owlbear.
So, there you have it. Three of you can head on. We'll try and catch up to you.
Or choose so to come along with us. Either way,
At this point, the one guard who had spoken, not to interrupt, but we need to go if we're going to have any chance of finding our man alive. Either you're with us or you're not, but either way, we can't wait any longer.
We'll catch you at Woodpine. All right, I'm with you.
Yep.
Okay. So the two guards there kind of peel off.
Are these two the guards?
Yeah.
Okay.
As do kind of the three of you guys. And somebody, I guess, takes over
I'll take
the
over
cart
the
there,
cart,
and
yeah.
you guys sort of kind of like navigate your way around the now upright cart, and head continuing down south. Those of you who are on your way after the owlbear, go ahead and make a survival check.
11.
Breaking out the woozle.
18.
Okay.
19.
Okay. So, you guys are fairly quickly able to pick up the trail of where this creature had passed through. You know that it was dragging a horse, so it does not take you long to find sort of the path of like dragged large creature, basically, as well as the occasional like huge pawed footprint. Travel about a mile, and eventually find yourselves. Go ahead and move the others off to the side there.
These two were not.
They're the farmers.
They're
These
farmers.
are farmers. Farmers are.
The farmers. We are farmers. Don't sue us.
Oh yeah. I mean,
No. Just sing it off key. Just do it off key. We are travelers.
La 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 la.
Careful, they're also a thing.
Oh my god. We are adventurers. Blah blah blah. Nah.
Do you need free music sounds?
This thing looks dangerous. It's actually kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie.
you eventually come to an area where the trees clear off, and about 50 yards further, the Nivian River flows.
Oh, there's a water.
I found it.
So it's the river is further on back this way, and there's sort of a uneven rise in a natural formation of a rise in the land, where there is a some sort of erosion has created a rocky cliff face with a cave formed into it. The tracks that you see or have been following lead directly into this hollow.
I wonder where it could have gone.
I wonder.
Alright, turn to the two soldiers. You have any ranged weapons?
They kind of just the swords.
Alright.
They should really stay back.
Yeah, alright. Nothing for it. You two, you've got javelins, right?
Yep.
Look at me. Alright, I guess I'm gonna see if I can catch you by surprise.
I have breath weapon, but that doesn't necessarily have aim.
Like an
I'll try and
opposite
get out of the
range.
way when it's time for you to use it.
I'm more worried about the guy.
Yeah,
Also
well,
in the
I'm gonna see if I can spot this thing and take a shot at it and then run screaming and bring it back toward us.
Could we take a piece of the deer meat and lower it out?
We could. Do I have any on me?
Probably would have left all of that in the cart.
Yeah, most likely. Alright, well.
Minor oversight.
Well, wasn't thinking that far ahead.
Thanks,
Okay.
Walter.
Alright, so. You two get ready. I'm gonna try and draw it out. If I'm lucky, I might be able to get a wounding shot at it.
Here, kitty.
All the casters are in the cart.
I'm going to attempt to make a stealth approach.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
And my stealth check is a whole whopping 15.
Okay.
So.
I think he might get eaten. It's definitely a possibility.
Get to
We're never gonna
approach
see
from
them
the
again,
one
are we?
side of the cave and then very carefully, short bow at the ready, just try and peer in.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
17.
Alrighty. What you see as you look into the cave is mostly darkness. So you kind of your dark vision kicks in a little bit towards the back of the cave, and you see sort of the grainy kind of outline of the interior. There are all manner of bones and detritus all within inside this den. It is perhaps 20-ish feet back. And there's a slight curve that you think looks like the floor actually either naturally dips away or has been like dug out towards the back, creating sort of a kind of like a little additional little cubby hole in the back. There is halfway in, so maybe 10 feet-ish from the mouth, you see most of a horse. And it kind of, as you're sort of looking, you see it sort of like shifts a little. And first it almost like there's no way that horse is still alive. And you see like the shifting is caused as a what had first just sort of looked like blended into the back of the cave behind it coalesces as lifting its head out from like the center of the carcass where it had been like munching away is an enormous owlbear. It is huge, easily twice the size of the largest bear you might have ever seen. It has kind of deep, grizzled, brownish, blackish fur, massive, hulking body, kind of a mixture of a ruff of feathers around the head, the sort of flat, harsh face with the two keen eyes and the beaked mouth all covered in like gore and detritus from the horse as it sort of lifts its head up, kind of surveys, and you hear it go. Sticks its head back down and continues to eat.
Okay. Oh, not before it. Here goes nothing. Please, dear God, tell me a 23 hits it.
Yeah, 23 hits it.
Well, if it doesn't, then this is how the game ends. Okay. 16 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And my bonus action is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Get ready, here it comes.
Okay. So you let fly the arrow. Streaks through the air, and you kind of hear the immediately followed by this like as hulking owlbear lifts up and like bull charges up.
Did I mention it was big? Yes.
Looks adorable there.
I know, it's so cute.
It's galloping.
Use this tiger mini for tiger, but it is friggin' humongous. Comes out to the edge of the cave. Pauses for a moment as it like takes stock. You see there's like this almost comically tiny looking arrow stuck in one of its like shoulder blades. And then it gives it another second like and charges you. Echo, roll initiative.
I don't know that.
Wasn't our fault.
Echo, roll initiative. One day Echo's gonna do this without embarrassing me in front of the internet.
That's what first editing is.
What's that? Yeah.
Oh, hold on, that's true.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Minute, this is old music.
Mark will tell their
We got better music than this.
Oh, upgrade.
We got upgraded music.
Courtesy of proficiency bonus. Thank you.
Promo battle music.
We actually got promo battle music?
We do?
Hell yeah.
That background music I've been playing is the proficiency bonus
Oh,
brand.
shit. Can we say that?
See Jason
Are we
prepping memes over there.
Oh, no, I'm just, I'm ready.
What are you concerned about?
I looked up and I saw the concerned lich thing ready to go.
I drew an outline.
Like that, except way scarier.
Bigger, scarier.
I choose to believe that that's just how
And then we'll see these things like, it's just adorable.
This is my new friend.
Then it stands up on its hind legs, and you're like, and you're like, alright.
It's not adorable.
Hugs? It's 20 hugs.
Go ahead and roll initiative, everybody.
Weird. Think
That
we did.
thing's like 15 feet tall as it's like on all fours.
Yeah, how tall is it on its 2 feet?
Standing up on 2 feet, it would probably be close to 16 feet tall.
Oh, alright. Wow. Alright. I was like, you know what? I'm a tall guy. No, that's.
No, it's even big to you.
Oh, alright.
New mount.
Yo, if I could get an owlbear and. Yo.
Yeah. Well, those guys aren't coming back. Hey, guys!
Too bad I rude speak
we
with animals
praised
on
past
that
you.
thing.
25 to 20. 19 to 15.
17.
Oh, you went first.
14 to 10.
11.
Can we go 3 or 4?
You just want to say.
6.
Okay.
6.
Better than 4.
Also better than the 2 dudes with you, so you're not last.
Keep them out of the way.
They got a 2.
15 foot step back, and then they make it first.
Alrighty. So, Owlbear charges in your guys' direction.
Oh, owlbear goes first?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Well, it's been nice knowing you all.
F and A. Fudger sticks. I wish we really did have like a bleep button. That'd be good. It's so menacing. It's just this black hole that
You
comes.
can physically feel it coming through the ground
God.
as every time its fore and hind leg is hit in this gallop, the ground vibrates beneath it. It comes lumbering forward, and as it gets right up to kind of where your group is gathered, it rears up onto those 2 hind legs in the classic sort of like bear, and then it is going to swing down with one of its claws.
Am I close enough?
No. That is a. Is it 25 hit?
Oh, dear.
Stick to the
It's
plan.
revenge for that. Does a 23 hit a minute ago with this short bow?
Hey, look, I didn't know. With my luck at...
That's a fair question from Pathfinder out there.
That's true.
No, it.
Fixed it.
Fix it.
It's the first edition one.
Oh Jesus!
Oh God. It's like
That looks like Jim Henson's.
yeah. It looks like a.
Jabberwocky.
It looks like a.
Uncanny dodge.
Uncanny
It
dodge.
looks like a turtle in like a
Yeah.
wetsuit.
Okay, so that's going to be 12 piercing damage from that.
Not bad.
And then it is going to follow up with a clamp of its beak.
It's not bad. No, we're good. We're good.
We got this.
22.
Oh, yeah.
We're okay.
How many times can you use uncanny dodge?
Just once
Look
per
for
round.
turn.
Oh, it's a reaction.
That is an additional 13 piercing damage.
Oh.
creature.
Okay.
Basically, up onto 2 legs, comes down, bringing the kind of the weight of its body behind this slash as it just rakes into the front of Alar and lands heavily, and then lightning fast, the kind of the neck shoots out, and the beak just like pinches and rips backwards. A big piece of like cloth comes out with it, and gets some skin underneath as well. I have regrets. That is the owlbear's turn. Osrius, you're up.
Punch it in the genitals. No. Not googling that.
I'm gonna need you to make a.
Oh.
What's up, nerds?
Ah,
So you get killed by an owlbear.
Too bad you're not with us.
Don't worry, you're safe.
You should probably have
goodness,
this.
that's funny.
It is funny how all the spellcasters are in the cart.
I realized that like minutes ago. I was like, oh no.
Alar is a spellcaster.
Oh, that's true.
He's a rogue first. He's a spellcaster.
He counts. Okay. Anyway,
Hello, Cone of Shane Dog.
we'll get settled first.
What do you got, Oz?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, can I move around, actually, on the other side there?
Yeah, that's where you started.
You were
Yeah.
here. Alright, so 5, 10.
I can go 40, so right one more up, and like, that's like right beside him? Yeah? Okay. I'm
Okay.
going to rage,
Yep.
and he's going to immediately take 3 fire damage. Since
He
the
saves.
desert, there's no save.
Ah.
It's just
okay.
straight 3 fire damage.
Okie
Because now I'm at the desert.
Sure.
Storm Aurora.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack twice.
Alrighty. We'll hit.
But the deal with that is that it's any creature within 10 feet, so I didn't want to be near. That's why I didn't want to do that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, it's on my end.
Me and my 11 hit points, thank you very much.
Osrius kind of steps to the side. What do you got?
It's a good
Well,
evil.
one hits.
Yeah,
and one
good
doesn't.
deal. Natural 20 and then a 1.
Okay. Apex, maybe.
What?
Did a nat 20 and a nat 1?
Yeah.
This sort of like burst of heat like radiates off of Osrius as he rages. You see like all the grass within like a 10-foot circle around him just like blackens, and there's a distinct smell of burnt hair comes off the side of the owlbear as it kind of like. "Meow!"
So that is going to be 19
Okay.
slashing damage.
Alrighty. You cleave into it. Your great axe, like you strike it, but you feel like its hide is thick. So you like wrench it back out and slam it in again as the owlbear kind of like starts to kind of like rotate on the spot, trying to face as threats begin to spread out around it. Alar, you are up.
Okay, drawing the rapier, taking a stab and casting Booming Blade. Natural 20.
Okay.
Yes.
And
'cause I'm
thank you
here
for
now.
engaging. Because that means that I get to sneak attack. Oh, wait a minute. Just need 2 of those and 2 of these and. Okay, not great. No.
Nice.
Yeah, I just wish it was a lot better roll.
It's a lot of fish.
That's a lot of dice.
That's a lot of nuts.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more
More
dice.
16, 17, 20, 22, 25. And yes, I'm at the proper level. 2 points of thunder damage and move me backward 20 feet. Bonus action disengaging.
Alrighty.
Wonder who's gonna get spanked.
Not us.
Coward.
Alrighty. Did not care for that. So,
Did it not?
what it's going to do,
Oh boy.
it is going to bull rush straight after out Alar.
Ah, crap.
Oh no.
Is Alar within 5 feet?
No.
No.
Okay. Alrighty, so poor sap number 1 there
Oh
is
no.
between it and Alar.
Why did we tell him to get out of the way?
That key is not even close.
Can I instinctively like yell to like move?
I mean, you can.
Move!
He does to like they both like dive,
Dude,
but
don't let it turn.
the one guy gets plowed,
Yeah.
and it basically pushes him
Like your mother.
right into. So now like he is next to Alar, prone, and it is up in front of him. So you will get an attack of opportunity, and it will take. Go ahead and roll your damage because it moved for your booming blade.
Okay, so 2d8.
18.
To hit, yes.
8 points of thunder damage.
Okay.
7.
Okay. All right. So is it kind
Oh,
of?
sorry, my bad. 9.
Okay.
For keep adding to 2.
So as Alar backs off, it kind of like and just charges after him. Osiris, you like swipe at its flank with your great axe as it passes. It starts to run, and there's this like poof, reverberation coming from the point where Alar had stabbed it with the rapier. But it just has this like frenzied like as it rushes forward, basically just totally overruns that guy, knocking him to the ground. And it is going to use its attack to make only one attack. It's a natural 19.
Valid.
Deals 7 points of slashing damage.
Still up.
Barely.
Barely.
To you.
Definite regrets.
And Dula, you're up.
I don't think I actually have to move. I
You do
think
not. It has basically run at Alar up. You're
You're
now like
face
at, you're
with
like
it.
at its shoulder, basically.
Alright, I'm going to roll to attack with smite.
Okay.
You don't have to smite until after you hit it.
Oh. 10.
No. So you do make it's like hitting the broadside of a barn. You don't miss, but you like strike into it, and you just like you feel it like kind of thunks into this solid muscle of its arm, and it doesn't even seem to notice.
Can I try second time?
Yeah,
My
if you have
second
multi,
attack.
if you have multi, go ahead.
17.
That'll hit. You like draw back once more with feeling, swing
It's
again.
mine.
Well, I need to borrow
You stole all my other ones. Welcome to marriage.
it. So that's 7 from the Warhammer,
Okay.
and then smite is 2d8 plus that's level 1.
I just downloaded it from here.
9.
9 radiant.
Necessary.
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty.
Or can I go 5-foot step to be close to ALR for
Sure.
protection?
Alright, you kind of move defensively, getting your shield in between you. So these two dudes, that guy's going to stand up. Both of them are going to attack the owlbear. Their
Can I
longsword.
yell to them to be like, go get their friend?
You can.
Forget about the bear. Just go get your buddy.
You yell this. The one of them looks maybe a little concussed as he gets back up. So he kind of makes a half-hearted movement to like prepare to fight. The other one crits. So as you kind of like yell this, he's like, "Forget the bear! It's the size of a damn house!" As he takes a swing and does 11 points of slashing damage. Alright, so he like he basically drives his long sword a good portion of the way, the blade like up into like this creature's kind of neck. It gives this sort of like it's starting to really like slashed all over from you guys. It's kind of bleeding. It has this sort of wild animal fury in its eyes at this point. And it is its turn. Actually, what it is going to do is it's kind of looking at you. It's going to disengage. And it's going to back up into the mouth of that cavern there. And it just, using kind of its bulk to block the entrance, it just sort of stands there.
Okay. Take the short bow. I got something that'll hurt it.
Oh, it's Ozri's turn.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you were next.
Put me right in front of
Yeah,
that
40 feet.
damn
so
thing.
it's
I should get right
5,
up to
10,
it.
15, 20, 30, 35. That's like
Yeah.
35.
So as you approach it, it kind of takes like a half step back and just keeps... It shuffles itself a little bit as you approach, always keeping itself right between you and the entrance to this cave. Sort of like snarling and screeching and hissing at you as you approach.
Immediately let it take 3 points of fire. And
Does that happen every turn? Or only
Uh,
when you start the rage?
This effect is activated. It's as a bonus action on each of your turns.
Okay. So your bonus action to give it 3 points of fire damage. Okay. And so again, this like singe comes off. It flinches back.
And before I make an attack, I'm going to take a -5 penalty
Okay.
on one of them. So hopefully hit it with extra damage. So that one. Second hit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of them doesn't hit. That would be like a 12.
12, no.
Yeah.
Not hit.
Okay, then the other one definitely does not hit as well.
Okay, so you swing your great axe, swing. The owlbear is like, you can see it's like on the defensive now. It backs up away. But as your swing goes wide, you bring the great axe back in. Once again, it shuffles forward another few feet, blocking you from the entrance to this cave. And just like these huge, like vicious, beady black owl eyes are like a foot from you. It's like, and that is all it's going to do. Alar, it is your turn.
Alright, let's see how far. You have to take 5 foot step forward. Rather bloody, but DC 13 wisdom save. Despite the fact we're in the middle of nowhere.
It's a natural 15. Let me see what its wisdom mod is. Wisdom is a +1, okay, so it does
Okay.
make the save.
Oh crap. Okay. Must be too far from the bell.
Alar jazz hands in the direction of the bed of the owlbear for a moment. It doesn't seem to do anything. Nula, it is your turn.
I'm gonna expel one spell slot
Okay.
to cast Speak with Animals,
Okay.
and basically call out to the owlbear. We just need the human. If you have cubs, we don't need the cubs. We just want the human.
There is a sort of a... It takes a moment. Make a persuasion check. As it takes a moment, as you sort of cast this this spell, and at first you just hit with this like wall of rage coming off of it. What is your persuasion?
13.
Here's an important question. Do I have to use this for my things?
I have ruled that you are able to donate it to somebody if you would like. So you got a golden d20 on the...
No, that's just...
Oh, just to do it. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to roll it, you just get the d20. Okay, so a natural 20 on the persuasion roll. It's a different story. It takes you a moment as you basically like you speak into what is an inferno of rage and mingled with fear at this point. And after a moment, it is not a verbal, like a language response, so much as it is a series of kind of just impressions of like instincts and desires that your brain, through this magic, pieces together to interpret the creature's intentions. You basically get the sense that it is protecting its den, but it does not want to give you the food that it has brought back for it and its offspring that they will need for the winter.
We just want the human. You can keep the horse.
You get the sense that it is a little confused by the distinction of horse and human.
The two-legged one.
Mostly just
Small
like
food.
meat and less meat.
We would like less meat.
We won't harm you otherwise. We just came for 2 legs.
Jimmy Tool.
So Osria, so what you're kind of seeing is from behind you, you hear Nula begin to like the owlbear is like
Put my hands up.
very slowly starts to back up into the cave. You see it turn its back towards you guys, move over towards the horse. And there's a moment with its back kind of turned that you see it sort of shuffling about with like its forepaws and its head. You can see it sort of on either side of it. You see the horse like being jostled. And then a moment later there is this like shout of like, ah! And it turns back around, and in its beak, basically like dangling by the back of his armor, is a gore-covered, terrified, like, alive human man, like clutched, and it just like carries him to the front of the cave opening. Osrius, you see as it like brings him kind of towards you, he's like,
Shut your mouth. Don't make a move.
and it just sort of like drops him.
I'll-
He hits the ground and immediately scrambles
Yuck.
like past you. And the owlbear takes like 3 or 4 steps. You see it's like now heavily limping on one of its legs.
Can I heal you before we go?
Heal it!
No!
It kind of makes sort of like a noise. You get the impression that it does not want you to approach.
Leave it be. Everybody back up. Let's go. I start backing up.
Hands up.
Everybody get on the bus. We're out of here.
I start backing up.
So you guys, as you guys start to back away, the individual there, he kind of, and he scrambles. He gets up to 1 feet. He's starting to walk. He has what is pretty clearly a badly broken leg. So he's kind of like hop dragging himself.
Put him on my shoulders.
All right, so he's sort of like, come on, Osrius, just let's go. Picks him up.
Yeah.
Moves away. So as you guys start to back away from the cave, you see just the large form of this owlbear within the dark confines of the cave, sort of the light reflecting on its large orb-like eyes as it stares you down. As you back away, you see from around side its bulking form. You see 1 and then 2 sets of smaller lamp-like eyes peer
That would have been bad.
around their mother. Those 2 smaller, perhaps they're like the size of a black bear.
So pretty big.
Compared to the mother, they are much smaller. They are still like the size of most of you.
Yeah.
And these two like owlbear cubs kind of peer around either side of their mother, and as you guys get to 30 or 40 feet away, she turns, and you see her sort of disappear into the gloom of the cave. These two owlbear cubs turning and following her in as they go away.
Dwarvish cursing. Dwarvish cursing.
Hey.
He is covered in mostly his own blood, and he just looks at you. It is warranted.
He's kind of got a point.
I heal you for 5.
She wanted to heal the owlbear before she healed you. Just so you remember that.
The two other soldiers, as Osrius comes and puts the kind of the wounded guy down, they move over to his side. He kind of lays on the ground. His leg below the knee, the bottom portion of his leg, is at a 45 this way. He seems to be fairly lucid.
Okay.
He's kind of
All right.
the two kind of look down. And they go, "By the gods, Leslie, you all right? That's holy mother. That's
We're
a
gonna have to set that
hell of a
leg.
leg." And he's kind of on the ground. He goes,
All right.
Should we get back to the cart at least?
It's a good mile, and we should probably splint this first.
But we're far enough away from the cave that his screaming
"You're
is-
back into the tree line at this point,
Okay.
kind of away from."
Osrius,
You can set it.
yeah, keep an eye out. If that thing or its kids decide to come out, then truce is off. You have any skill with medicine?
I have lay on hands and a -1 to medicine.
All right, I've got a little bit.
Same.
All right, here goes nothing.
Stick your finger in the wound.
He finds it likely enough tree branch.
Medicine check.
Yep.
Okay.
Bite down.
Okay, so you kind of put a dowel into his mouth.
And-
His two buddies help kind of steady him.
And I roll a natural 20. So,
Thanks,
So
Russell.
you kind of you take the leg,
On the 20 since I joined us.
take the leg, and you're like, all right. On the
One,
count of 3.
2,
1,
snap.
2.
One.
on the dowel, he goes, go!
Okay, on 3. Yeah, 3. There we go.
After a moment, he spits it out, and he goes, it wasn't me, but somebody shit my britches.
We'll find the culprit for you. It's all right. It's all right.
Does that owlbear's dastardly deeds know no bounds?
Damn yous all the
It
hell.
was probably one of the owlbears. Don't worry about it. Come on. Come on.
That left cup
So
was shit.
each of his buddies kind of take him under each arm, and
I will heal an additional 5.
okay, so you kind of lay on hands. Some of the you guys sort of notice that he's very banged and scraped up along his face and his arms and stuff. It doesn't necessarily look like he was attacked directly by the owlbear, but it looks like he took a beating as the dragging took place. And so you kind of, as you sort of are limping off, his two buddies are sort of just talking to him to kind of keep him talking. And they sort of, you hear one of them kind of answers, "By the gods, Les, how did it get you? It was dark. The thing came out of there so fast. We didn't see. We heard you shout, and then you and the horse were gone." And as he's kind of limping along, he's like, blasted horse. It went for the horse, and I was afraid it was going to drag the whole cart with it. I tried to unlash them, but my damn leg got caught in the harness. Kind of gestures, it's like, that's how it broke. Once it had the horse and it was dragging me, I just played dead.
Did the smart thing.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm kind of like, ruffles his hair. Well, you're gonna walk funny for the rest of your life, but
It's gonna be.
I hear the lasses like a good scar.
Hey, you get to tell them that you face down survived 3 owlbears. Not just 1. 3.
So he sees he sort of nods. He's like, and as one of his buddies goes, just leave out the part where you soiled yourself, eh? Ow! Ow! Ow!
Do you need more healing?
Ow!
Alright.
So, about 2.5-ish hours after your original divergence, you guys return to the main road where the 2 farmers are kind of sitting. They have reloaded the majority of their supplies into their cart and are kind of waiting. You guys see that they have done at least the best they can to sort of adjust the the harnesses and everything to accommodate the fact that they only have 1 horse left now. And when they see you guys come back with this Les, they have been calling him, and he's alive nonetheless, you kind of see them like glance at each other. What's everybody's passive perceptions?
No.
15.
12.
10 plus your perception.
It's the passive perception, right? Yeah.
12? Okay. So, Alar, you think you might be the only one that catches this, but like you see them, like they see the guard came back alive, and they kind of look at each other, and as they like move over to come help you, one of them like hands a copper piece to the other one. they sort of come over and they begin helping the guard over, and one of them you hear one of them says like, "We thought for sure they were going to bring you back dead." Kind of looks at us. It's a hell of a wound. Come on, let's get you in the cart. They kind of hobble him over. They set him up in there. Kind of, you hear them like haul him up, and from inside the cart there's a little bit of like shuffling of supplies and things to kind of find room for him. There's sort of like a dull thud, and you hear Les go like, "Just leave it. I'll just go." And the 2 like come back out of the cart. They're kind of like nudging each other. You were the one. You hit him. And they come back out. The other 2 guards sort of come over to you guys. And the one kind of goes around, offers, shake your hands, says, "Name's Vilnius, by the way. We can't thank you enough. I don't know how we would have gotten poor Les there back without you." Gestures it. "I'm sorry you got separated from your friends because of this. Unfortunately, we are fresh out of spare horses, or we'd offer you one in return for your services."
It's alright.
Our legs ain't broken.
Fair enough.
Alar's just gonna wince a little bit, like, sorry,
We'll be fine. Thank you.
Sort of kind of nod.
Gents, shakes hands, leans into the one who handed off the copper. I bet against this as well.
He's kind of like,
Alright, we're just gonna have, if we hustle, we can, we have a chance of catching them by nightfall.
Yep. Let's boogie.
Alright, so 2-hour time rewind. Osrius, Nula, Alar, Vilmos, and the other guard, whose name nobody ever learned.
Less.
Les, the third one's name was Hector. Head off to the east towards the banks of the Nivian River and disappear Brom, Walter, and Kel. You guys, the snap of the reins, get Henrietta up and moving again. Navigate around the two farmers who are kind of watch each of you diverge in your different paths and then go back to collecting up their supplies. And off you head down the road. What is your plan going forward? Are you moving at your standard pace? Are you trying to push to accelerate at this point?
I think our plan was to continue at normal rate, but through the night.
Okay.
Correct.
So you know that
or
they
we
were.
can push and call it a night.
Or just push as far as we can
And then
quickly.
Yeah,
and
push,
then
get as
call
far
it
as we can by the dark, and then see what we want to do from there.
That sounds better, especially since we know we're a full day behind. So
You guys do know about at this point you're about 1 day behind, which time frame wise would suggest that they probably left in the night after they robbed the tomb,
And didn't stop.
and at least traveled through that full first day.
yeah, let's
Let's push it and then
Push-
see where
push
we're
it
at
and
by
then-
at sundown.
yeah. Since I can't see it, so
I can always take over at night.
that's fair. You're still resting, I believe.
You can only
After-
get one long rest per 24 hours.
Right.
So you'd be taking it easy for flavor, but it doesn't do anything.
After tonight's rest, your last level of exhaustion will be gone.
So make a nice brisk pace and see if we can cover some distance, catch up with those guys.
All right. So you guys are kind of urging Henrietta along at a little bit of a faster pace. Nothing too exerting. Just trying to cover a few more miles than you would have otherwise. Travel through the better part of the day. The landscape becoming progressively flatter the further in that you go. The woods stay fairly dense on either side of this trail, but a lot of the hilliness and twists and turns have started to kind of smooth out, and you find yourself for long periods, like miles at a time, on just sort of flat stretches of fairly straight caravan path through the woods as you move more southward, more towards sort of the heartland of Mifflin, which is right at the center of the continent. The day passes relatively smoothly. You do pass a couple of other individuals traveling as you go. There is an area where there is a small sort of side caravan trail that leads to the west. As you guys are heading, further south towards Woodpine, this trail goes off to the west. You do see some folks who are in the process of packing up, what looks like maybe a stop for a midday meal, right at the sort of the crossroads here, as you guys go past. If you guys don't engage with them, they don't engage with you, and otherwise just let you go past.
Do we want to ask if they've seen anything?
Yeah, I think every couple hours, if I see people, I'd probably slow down a bit and ask if anyone's seen anyone. But otherwise, we're not gonna stop.
See that out loud.
So you're
So I guess yeah. For
catch
these
up with
guys, I'll just
okay.
hail them down and say, "Have you seen a group of 3 pass by this area?"
One of them's real big. One of them has a hood. Doesn't talk much.
One of the individuals looks at you. Well, we're coming this way.
Yeah.
Points back, the way towards, if you guys are coming this way and they're this way. He points back that way. He's like, this way.
Heading the way we're coming from. Heading south.
No, we're just coming from the west here. We're out of Shale Hollow. A couple days this way. We ain't passed nobody on the road.
Alright,
I didn't see anybody here. Sorry.
much appreciated.
Safe travel.
Flick a copper at him. Thanks, man.
Sort of like, thank you, my lord. Like, wow, rich guy.
And just take off. Just
You guys
space.
head off with Henrietta again. They clippity-clopping trucks heading further south. So the very few people that you do pass, your inquiries are not met with much more success. You don't really glean any further information. A couple of people, like, you get the impression, don't really want to talk to you. As you inquire if you've seen anybody pass. They're sort of a little evasive about the question. Is you just get the sense that it's more like they don't want to be sticking their nose into anything. They don't want to be giving information on any strangers that they might have seen to other strangers that are asking. So they sort of dodge the question a little bit. A couple of other people do tell you that they saw somebody that they think matches the description that you're looking for. A group of 3 on foot, traveling southward the same direction you are. You get the impression that you probably haven't really made up distance on them, but it doesn't sound like they're getting any further. They're any further ahead of you. So probably at some point they did stop and rest. So you still think you're the better part of a day's travel behind them, which is about where your intel lies when the sun is finally sinking, and you have to decide whether it's. Oh, actually, you know what? I forgot about this the whole time. We've been in dang combat mode.
Combat mode.
I figure it's just like
Echo, combat over.
Yeah.
no.
That's really great.
Oh, my special eyes.
Echo, make the lights light blue. That's a little better. Okay.
That's better. I'm gonna look at the lights.
Attention, Tabletop Legends, Blue Light Special.
Do we have a rough estimate as to how much time we were able to make up? How much farther do we have to go until the town?
You probably have put. This is your second full day of travel, and you made a little bit more than you would have otherwise. So you'll have tomorrow, and then assuming you stop again for the night, you'd arrive in the town of Woodpine by perhaps midday rather than nightfall on that 4th day. So you made up maybe a half a day-ish of travel.
I think it might be better to rest here, let everybody catch up, and then make a fast pace tomorrow. Do you think? That we might catch up with them and possibly arrive around the same time they do.
It's going to be much harder to find them once they get into town.
I may have some connections I can leverage, but I'm not sure.
What about you, Brom?
My little guy.
It's literally exactly what I said. I heard that.
I know that.
That
I
was
mean, if
5 minutes after I tuned in on
if we have eyes and ears in town we can utilize, it might not be as hard, and I'd like to not enter. If they were able to break down that door by themselves, I'd like to have at least a few numbers on them if we can. How's Henrietta doing? How's the impression we have of Henrietta right now?
She's doing okay. You can definitely tell she is, would be grateful for the rest tonight. You figure you could, if you wanted to push her, you could push her through the night tonight if you wanted, but then you would definitely have to stop and let her rest.
stop either way. Figure give those guys a chance to catch. And I mean, they're not going to sleep very long, but it's not really our problem. They can sleep on the ride.
Alright, I guess it doesn't do as much good to have our horse collapse a couple hours outside of the town.
Yeah, that's not help us either. Yeah, so
So
I guess.
we'll get up bright and early and push hard.
Yep. Sorry, Henrietta.
I believe in you.
You look it in the
we
face.
all believe in you.
I believe in you. Damn it.
Just like boost him up so he can do that.
I
It's a
believe
draft
in you.
horse. It's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, she's a big girl. You're kind of like. Goes and finds some grass to nibble on.
We'll get you carrots in town.
Do horse.
That'll do. Sugar.
Alrighty. Okay, so there are 3 of you. How are you handling watches?
Rama, you feel like
I'll take 2.
Yeah, I was about to say
Take
the first.
I'll take first and last.
okay. Yeah, I'll take third then.
Sure.
Early morning. Earliest morning. Yes.
Alright, well then roll some perception checks for your watches.
Roll d12 for perception.
Percept that danger.
22 for my first watch and 16 for the second one.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
You gonna reroll?
You do not.
That's a hard no.
Mulligan.
Yeah, that's just
Never
a 2.
heard of them.
A 2!
That's just a 2.
Okay.
I do not see well in the dark. Don't know why I chose the nighttime.
Your what watch were you on? Third?
Third.
Third. Okay.
You messed up.
It was at this
You done
moment.
messed up, Aaron.
It was at this moment that Walter realized the flaw in his plan.
Alrighty. So, Kel, all's quiet at your first watch. You go, wake Brahm up. You sit up for your watch. Waiting, you guys kind of keeping an eye on the trail, trying to look out for your companions. Walter, all seems quiet on your watch. Nula, Osrius, and Alar, make a perception check for me.
One for me. One for
It's a
Woozle.
9.
21 not natural.
Okay.
19. And 16.
Yeah, D30.
So, you guys, after your owlbear adventure, set off on foot at as brisk a pace as you can manage without exhausting yourselves. Travel through the day, sun goes down, kind of continue on your path, trying to catch up, make up the lost ground. You travel several hours beyond dark. You estimate it is well past midnight. You guys are kind of on your path, just traveling along. Nula, you hear slightly off the path, about 20 feet behind you guys. You hear
Gonna roll deception, which is gonna be kind of poor. That's a whole whopping 9 to continue to act natural, although he's getting ready to turn around.
stop.
Spins around, ready to defend himself.
Nothing's attacking. Nothing seems to be attacking you.
I begin creeping up to cough.
Okay. You make your way forward, inching slightly 15 feet or so back down the path the way you just come. Begin to edge off to the side into the underbrush where you had heard peer through a set of branches, and you see the shape of a person. They appear to be sort of hunched over. It's hard to tell in the dark, in the shadow, because they're really no more than like an outline, but you don't think they're facing towards you.
Can I pick up a pebble and throw it in a direction other than where we are standing?
Okay. Walter, you hear about 15 feet to your right.
Is that with my 2 perception?
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast.
I mean, yes.
What is that?
I'm gonna immediately just like look and just dancing lights over in that general direction.
Alright, so you throw the pebble, this shape moves. You see like an arm kind of cast out, and immediately about 15-20 feet away from this area, but it like casts the light back. These 3 orbs of light appear, and you see Walter is illuminated. And now in the kind of the dim light, you see around some of the trees off a little ways, you see the rest of the party's camp as he's like staring off away from where you guys are standing.
Easy, Walter. We don't want to scare Henrietta.
Yes. Guess everybody make it back okay.
Yep.
I don't know you.
More or less.
I don't know you.
They are still fairly beat up. Drags himself into the cart, flops down, and goes to sleep.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Guy got tackled by an owlbear. Bunch of all the damn lights out here.
I'll just dismiss those real fast. Whoops. Yeah, so welcome to camp. Glad you guys made it back. Yeah.
Yeah, dead.
Do you have any leftover dinner?
I definitely do have some leftover stew.
Why are you saying like that? Like it's real shifty.
I mean, it's from
Where do you gotta be shifty?
I definitely
You do some of that stew. I definitely have some stew.
Could you all please be
poop in that stew?
quiet and let me lead in peace?
I healed you. And you.
I'll just grab whatever container. Do we even have containers to put this stew in?
Yeah, get the old Tupperware.
What is this plastic contraption that farts?
I guess what's left.
Just throw that bitch in the microwave. It'll be good. This is my
shoving our faces into
this is
things.
my rubber maiden Tupperware.
You gotta burp it?
It's not dishwasher safe. Don't give
Slapping Walter on the back if he's ever like,
Yeah.
good watch there, buddy.
Yeah.
And just start eating it.
You just go together.
Good watch there, buddy.
You nearly walked directly past the camp at night. Luckily, knew caught sight, or heard the cough rather. So you guys luckily managed not to pass each other like ships in the night. So as the rest of the night does pass without incident, and the sun rises bright and early, and you guys begin to prep to head off for your next day's journey. I think we'll take a break there, as I forgot that we are not on the schedule that the Monday night stream runs on, where their break is typically 9:30, but we start at 7:30, so typically our break is 8:30. Which I was wondering why people kept people were dropping like flies, like having to
We also
leave.
start at 7 o'clock. 7:30.
Well, we started at 7:30 tonight.
There you go.
So I held everybody for longer than I should have. So stick with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes for the remainder of our session for tonight, as I release these guys after holding them hostage for an hour longer than I should have because I suck. See you in a second. Bye. Welcome back to Tabletop Legends. This is the Grifford hosted portion of the of the stream, I can absolutely just, like, my own head is still clearly in frame. This bit is not working out as well as I had hoped. But...
Look, we tried the polymorph spell. I'm sorry.
This is the... Jesus Christ.
Griffith is just like, what the hell
none
you?
of this.
What the hell you made?
This is...
A little fun behind the scenes fact: Griffith is not a real dog. He's a complicated animatronic.
Is this like
Costs $2.8 million an episode to operate him.
Is this like Westworld, like with dogs?
Yeah, that's
He's
where all
my,
our budget goes.
He's my co-dungeon master.
He is 3 bats in a trench coat.
Yeah. So, before we begin our second half of our session, we are going to bring you a new segment that we just invented called I Feed the Tabletop Legends Cast Weird Food. On tonight's segment, we need like a graphic.
Weird shit.
Griffith is not happy that I'm waving him in front of the camera. He's begun to compulsively drool on me.
I will have my vengeance.
He's leaking coolant. We need to patch him. We need to patch him.
On tonight's episode of I Feed Weird Stuff to the D&D cast, we have 2 different forms of weird Oreos that I found today, as well as a, I believe, Mexican candy
I think so.
So you know it's
called Salsaghetti,
Salsaghetti.
which is if you made
Sano.
gummy spaghetti and then flavored it like tacos, as far as I can tell.
It's watermelon licorice with a habanero sauce.
There you go.
Because
So,
Yeah, that kind of
licorice
sounds.
needs
That kind of
sauce.
sounds banging. I'm not gonna
everybody
lie.
go ahead and why don't you grab yourselves one of those Oreos.
Are we
Which
doing
one?
one
We're
at a
gonna
time?
pick one color.
Let's
pick
do
one
the
color
thin one.
first.
Alright, we'll do the thin ones.
Yeah,
first.
These
I
are
knew that. Wait.
I don't care.
so
who it
thin
is.
Oreos.
Look at that.
Bring the
They're
thin ones.
sickly green.
Last one.
Oh, vomit green inside.
Ew.
Somebody throw one my way. Thank you.
I mean, it doesn't sound bad.
Jesus Christ!
You said throw it.
It doesn't.
Never say that.
Maybe
to
we
your
don't fling chocolate around the room where my dogs are hanging out.
I
We
mean,
are,
it just,
we are in a mood today.
it just smells like chocolate. I don't smell anything.
This is the thin Oreo, which means it's
It's supposed to be good for your waistline.
So we eat it
I
now?
am deathly allergic to nuts, so good luck.
Is that what we're eating?
Find out. I need an EpiPen.
That is a pistachio flavored Oreo.
This is actually good.
I really like
Yeah, I
it.
was actually.
I didn't
that's
even
not-
really like pistachio. This is
Yeah,
good.
that's actually not
Alright.
too bad. It's
Not
like
bad.
I taste more chocolate than anything.
It's just a thing you can buy. It's just like something you made up.
Yes, I made these Oreos myself by hand.
And he even pressed the Oreo.
I
logo.
pressed the Oreo logo into them.
Yes, the Nabisco company will be
The
breaking down the
pistachio-
door shortly.
The pistachio is on
Right,
the
grab
end.
the other one.
Like,
This
it's
smells
very
like Chinese
hard
food.
on the end.
Oh,
I don't know what this is. Oh,
Thank
it
you.
smells like.
I said it smells like Chinese food.
Thank you.
No, it smells like gingerbread.
Yeah.
I smell gingerbread.
I smell
Yeah.
it. Yep.
Yeah. Am I eating this?
this would have gone great with the coffee I don't have anymore.
This was carrot cake.
These are carrot cake Oreos.
I don't mind it.
I don't care for these ones. They're too sweet for me.
Yeah,
I
they're-
really like the pistachio better.
yeah, I like
Really good.
pistachio better.
I didn't think that was going to be.
Oh
the
yeah,
case.
this is way too sweet. Oh god.
Well,
Crunch your
cleanse your palate with the habanero spaghetti.
Yes. Now
Candy.
let
Yeah,
us
let's pass
let
that
us
around.
enjoy Salsaghetti. I ate some last week, so I'm not doing it this week. Good luck with the shit that's in that package.
What is it?
Liquid diarrhea, as far as I can
Oh,
tell.
well, maybe it's not. Let's put that on the side. Oh, he's putting it right. It's up by the color.
Oh,
It's
it's
like a Taco Bell pack.
That is poop brown from here.
This is a new food for me.
It's easier to eat if you put it all in your mouth at the same time and just chew real
Is
In
that
post,
what-
you're gonna need to
Just
add like a
rub-
spoon.
I would call that baby diarrhea
Baby
brown.
diarrhea.
I mean, I'm
Used. That was
God,
a that was a
yeah.
packet full of used diaper.
Dude, look at that.
Just do it.
Oh,
Sure
God
thing.
is
Open it
best
around.
when served
Oh,
live,
it's like
ladies and
used
gentlemen.
soy sauce.
Used soy sauce.
Where did you get this stuff?
They
Is
just-
this came from you?
fruit shoot soy sauce.
His sister hates him.
My sister got me.
It's
weird
soy
candy
sauce
for my
that's going
birthday.
around once, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we did the whole thing.
So fair point. I have actually never tried it. That was when I was going to try myself. So
I have more at home. Don't worry
no,
about
that's
it.
fine. I'll wait to see how this goes.
Actually, it's not too bad.
Yeah, well, that's disappointing. All right, I guess we're done with this.
I mean, it's really
Damn
salty.
you, Curtis.
It's
not
really,
too bad.
it's really salty. But like,
That's what was off-putting to me about it. Why would I want my licorice to be salty?
but it's like salty and sweet at the same time.
Next week we'll bring one of those like war crimes of a lollipop you had.
Oh yeah, I have one of those.
do those.
I have one of those in the cup holder in my car still.
Next time we cut durian fruit.
I've had that. It's not that
More of a
bad.
sensory.
I also have
What?
It
What is
doesn't
this?
smell bad. As long
Until
as
they
it's-
invent smell-o-vision Twitch, I don't know why we would do that to ourselves.
Durian.
It's not that bad.
Oh.
It's not that bad as long as it's not.
It's a
like warm.
fruit that smells like rotten.
Ass.
It smells like rotten feet ass.
Where's my mother calling me?
Don't eat. She's called don't eat salsaghetti. They got recall.
Just please, yeah, give me an
I was about to say I don't want to leave it around. Please.
Not for dogs. Not for dogs.
That's probably not going to come out good later. Just saying. That's
It'll come out as it went in.
Stay tuned.
That's
Salsaghetti.
Stay tuned for the supplemental podcast.
Tune in
where
next
Curtis-
week when Curtis is missing the lower half of his body.
I'm pretty sure the combination of pistachio, carrot cake, and salsaghetti is not going to do anything good for me.
That beer and
So
coffee
we
got-
will not be seeing him for the next 2 weeks as he languishes in the hospital going, mistakes were made!
I can cross it off my bucket list. Anyway.
Well, now we've fed weird food to everyone. Let us return to our session as the party heads off in the morning on the third day of their travel, racing towards the town of Woodpine. So you're traveling at a fast pace, and your intention is to go till you get there, like just through the night at this point.
I guess.
As roughly to the limits of our horse's capability.
At this point, she will definitely need to, will need to rest, and you're not winning any speed races, but you can get there in one shot straight through at this point. It's about
Because we traveled,
24-ish miles.
because we traveled through the night, for part of the night, I'm guessing I got the benefit of a short rather than long rest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, then I
mean,
will-
you can, unless you guys are interrupted, you can hang in the cart today and gain your long rest over the course of the day, as long as you're just riding in the cart.
Yeah.
Alright.
Walter's totally fine to just like hold the reins and let everybody else that was out just rest. So
Don't message me in my sleep, please.
I will definitely, absolutely do that eventually, but not today.
Look you in the testicle.
I can also message you in
Well, this smart man, the first passerby, I'm gonna message that we can give you some stuff. Decided to flip out. So,
Speaking of flipping out, you came back fine.
yes.
You came back fine. Alar was in jacked up.
Because he refused for me to
We-
heal him.
They
more.
beat him up.
We
So,
know
like,
how this works.
He found the owlbear and dealt with it himself mostly.
No.
No.
He went in first.
That was true. He poked.
He poked the
He
bear.
poked the bear.
Yes.
He poked.
I poked the bear. Because the plan was poke
Rom
the
is
bear.
inside the cart while this conversation is taking place, and you just hear him make noises from inside.
He poked the bear. The bear got angry.
The bear it was tougher than I thought it was going to be.
I spoke to the bear.
I'm guessing you didn't kill it then.
No. We
It
didn't.
was a mother, and she had babies. She had priorities.
Babies the size
So
of
you
brown
just
bears.
Assaulted it.
We communicated and just said we needed to take the two-legged human.
He broke into his house and robbed it.
Is this before
You
or
did a
after
B&E?
he ate Alar within an inch of his life?
But
Why do I miss all the fun stuff?
You decide to stay behind and miss the fun stuff.
Because you knew people.
I do know people.
We'll see about that.
I don't think you understand how this works.
Shut up.
I am not gonna get any rest.
Okay, it's the morning anyway, right?
yeah,
It looks like I am not gonna get any rest. As Rob was like pulling out an accordion. No.
Can you do Song of Rest yet?
Yeah,
No, save it,
I
save
could. Yeah, I can.
it. Save it.
Do I have to be short resting for it to count?
Is it only short resting?
Or long resting for it to count?
It's during a
Short rest.
During a short rest.
Yes. Sorry.
During your short resting?
We were all.
I mean, theoretically, yeah, you would be like, because you're playing the song during the
Yeah.
rest.
We can rest.
That's fine.
I was just wondering.
get this carnival on the road then.
So, I gotta find where I put it. Oh, here it is.
Aftertaste. It's starting to.
Just my number one
that aftertaste.
Salsaghetti's coming up on
Yeah.
Curtis.
Yeah, that aftertaste is just like it's sitting right in the back of the throat. It's yeah. I'm okay, but
You smell the Oreos?
you smell like pistachios.
You guys travel through the day, moving at a fairly quick pace towards the sunset, towards nightfall. The air grows a little colder, there's a little bit of a wind in the air, and actually a light, very light dusting of snow begins to fall down. You're forced to slow Henrietta's pace up a little bit as she's beginning to get a little tired, but you are able to keep moving through the night. The snow flurry lasts for no more than a few hours. Not much of the precipitation accumulates on the ground. It mostly just kind of melts away as it lands. You travel through the night, taking kind of shifts, driving, resting the back so that nobody has to force themselves past the point of exhaustion. Kind of poor Henrietta, the only one who's got to keep on trucking through it all. Towards morning, you have not passed anybody else on the road for hours, since the last person you saw was probably several hours before sunset the day before. And they had, when inquired about the travelers, they had not seen anybody matching that description. And they had set out about a day ago. But as the sky begins to lighten and you get a glimpse ahead, you see that the trees begin to thin. You begin to hear flowing water off to your left, to the east, and you kind of break free of the forest and find yourselves in the beginning of a fairly open expanse. So you look over to your left, you see maybe half a mile off, you can see the Nivian River flowing placidly onwards. Ahead of you, growing steadily larger as you continue forward, seeming to almost kind of loom up out of the ground. You see the high timber walls of the town of Woodpine.
So this is a walled city.
Yes, I have a map here. I'll put down for you in a second.
This is an actual walled city.
Not
This,
that-
this city has an actual wall around it.
As walls.
It is a wall, as you approach, you see it is a wall that has been formed by taking probably hundreds and hundreds of pine trees, long, straight logs of pine trees, basically shaving them down, treating and tarring them, and then sticking them upright into the ground with cross pieces running to secure them kind of at the tops, basically creating like a large almost like Lincoln Log-esque wall that you see surrounds the city. As you approach, you see the wall extends basically right up to the bank of the Nivian River. Right at that point, there is similarly constructed out of timber and wood, what appears to be like a watchtower, basically. More inland on the caravan trail that you approach from, there are two more sort of these watchtower positions flanking a large open gate that the caravan trail basically leads into the city. There are a number of like stable houses and things like that sort of arrayed around this northern gate, and beyond you see the basically the streets of the city are just sort of these unpaved, or town rather, it's not quite large enough to be a city. The town look to be just sort of dirt paths that are wound in between a number of these structures. The town is considerably larger than Stone Mill, which was really a little more than a village. Maybe a few, 100 or so people lived there. Woodpine's much larger. As you approach, go ahead and put that wherever you guys can see it. The camera's not going to be able to see it, but put it so that you guys can get a look at it. So you are approaching from the north there, right? Through that spot labeled number 1, the north gate there. To your right, there is an exterior, like an addition, like a little addition almost. Sort of a smaller, slightly lower wall juts off of the side of the main wall. Right near where that addition is, but inside the main wall, you actually see there is a large stone building that rises. It's probably 3 or 4 stories. It actually rises above the height of the main fortification, the main wall around the settlement. Is the most prominent thing that you were able to see from where you are coming in. It appears to be a considerably large building, a large structure of some sort. You are also able to see from where you are the town. There is kind of a slope to it, so that portion, which should be labeled 5 on the map there, is sort of like sits atop like a hump at the center of the city. You can just make out sort of a maybe 10-foot stone wall surrounding a rather well-made, kind of high-class looking manor almost. And that's sort of what you can see from the outside. You do just catch a glimpse on your way in along the river there. You can just see the edges of numerous docks all kind of sticking off the side of the settlement here into the river, which is at this point where you guys are entering. The river is nearly a mile across, and so you sort of carriage your way on in, and you're at the north gate at this point. There are a pair of individuals wearing the Mifflindian Home Guard armor, kind of standing on duty, flanking either side of the gate as you guys sort of roll up in your caravan. You see they take note of you, look at you, but they don't make any other move to stop you or speak to you or anything like that.
Nod of acknowledgement.
Give them a way to keep on coming in.
Do you want to ask if they've seen them?
Not them.
Should we find a stable for Henrietta?
Yes. So you guys move through the north gate there. Pretty much immediately, within the inside of the gate, to your right, there is a fairly large building. It actually looks like it was probably at one time like multiple buildings that have over time been like constructed together to make one quite large structure. You see there is basically a turn off of this main road, which leads under a kind of an archway where the building has a second floor that goes over the street. And looking within that, you see sort of this half circle of courtyard with stables lined around the outside. And there is a sign just ahead of this kind of turn off, hanging off of a metal kind of bracket, which is made of wood and had been painted at one point, but is fairly faded. As you look at it now, you see sort of the remnants of what were probably at one point very vibrant yellow and a very dark, rich like black paint, and there is an etching of a sort of like a dashed line that kind of curls around the center of the sign, does like a loop-to-loop, and comes to an end in a sort of a stylized black and red inset. And the words on the top and bottom of this sign read, "The Drunken Bee."
I like it.
AOR, I believe we found your next destination. Would bet they have need.
I hope so.
Here's hoping.
Let's put Henrietta away and see if we can find out any information about our good friends from Stone Mill. Is there I guess I'll just let everybody off and then go
So
drop
you guys kind of pull in there. A sort of stable hand kind of runs up to you and says, "Are you looking to board your animal and your cart, good sir?"
Yes, what's your rates?
It'll be 2 silver a day for a stable. That includes brushing, care for the animal, and an appropriate amount of feed.
That sounds fair. Sure.
We offer daily rates, or you can pay for multiple days at once. How long will you be needing to stay with us, sir?
Not that long. Maybe a day or two.
Let's
We'll
start.
just keep-
Let's start with the day.
Sure. Yeah, it was a daily.
Excellent. Well, that will be 2 silver, and I will get you all arranged.
I'll take down my coin.
Pay him the 2 silver. Thank you. I will store your carriage in bay number. He sort of looks at bay number 4. He points to the associated bay. He says, "And this fine girl," he kind of gives Henrietta a pat. "She will be in stall 3, in the stables there."
Alright.
Stall 3.
Stall 3.
So 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
My name is James. If you need anything, do not hesitate to ask, and I will be happy to help you at any time.
Thank you, James. And then I'll tip him copper for his assistance.
Kind of catches it, pockets this. Thank you very much, sir. Please feel free to head inside. There are not too many people this time of year passing through, so there's plenty of rooms. And the ale's always good inside.
Have you had anyone interesting come through in the last couple of days?
Not that I can say, especially.
We've been trying to catch up with a couple of acquaintances from ours from Stone Mill. They headed out about a day before we did. We're hoping to see if we can find him here.
Trio, one large gentleman, two smaller ones. One always wears a hood.
Doesn't speak much.
One of the gentlemen is actually a woman.
No, I don't think I remember seeing anyone. I was yesterday was my day off. I can ask some of the other Emerald lads if they've seen anyone.
Is there anywhere else where someone would stay in town?
Travelers passing through. Probably the well, if they're headed for the barges, there's the Quanter's Oasis. That's over on the east side of town, out near the docks.
Where do the rugged people go?
Guys, anywhere you please. Woodpine's we're mostly a military town. It kind of points to that huge building that you guys have seen. This is a lot of soldiers through here. Folks traveling through. Mostly either here at the Bee or at the Oasis. Two most popular ones in town.
Appreciate the info. Thank you.
Thank you.
Most kind.
Kind of leads Henrietta off towards the stables.
Should we book a night or head right over to the Quanter's Oasis?
Question.
Yes.
Did my organization's instructions give specifics on where to find the guy with the package I'm supposed to find here?
Well, let me find the missive that you were given. You were told, head to the Mythlindian town of Woodpine. There will be a package waiting for you there. Retrieve it. Further instructions will be delivered at that time. No, you were only given the name Moorland Fent.
Okay. So I need to find a Moorland Fent.
Find Moorland Fent.
I think we should just head over and start asking around. If there are not many people staying here this time of year, then we're not worried about there still being rooms left.
Alright.
Split up and check the Bee and the Oasis, or do you want to just check the Oasis for now?
Let's keep together.
Yeah,
Let's
if
keep
we
together.
have to engage them, it's better to be have 2-to-1 odds.
To the Oasis.
Yep, to the Oasis.
Unless there's somewhere else you'd like to stop first, bro?
We should probably just check the Bee while we're here.
Not a specific place, it's a specific guy, so I gotta ask around and see if I can find it.
Do they know
Stick
about
our
your
heads in.
thing?
Well, they know that I have a guy that's maybe gonna give us info.
Oh, I gotcha.
But we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know the other.
Yeah, you know.
We don't know the specifics, we just know you can.
Yeah.
You got a guy.
Yeah,
I got a guy.
Stick our
Doesn't,
heads
they don't
in
need to know
and
what
ask
the
if
guy
they've
is
seen
for.
them, and
What's
if
this
not,
guy's
we'll
name?
Head over. They're probably by the docks, but since we're already here.
Bee's right
We
there.
should also find out when the next barge is leaving for the capital, because if they're not going to sell it here, they're going to sell it there.
That's something we should be able to find out when we head over to the docks.
Alright, I walk towards the Bee.
Alright, head into the Drunken Bee.
Check them out.
You guys push your way through the what is kind of the side door of the establishment, because you come in from the inside of the courtyard rather than the street. But you enter into the tap room of the Drunken Bee. It is nearly empty at this point, as it is like the crack of dawn. It seems if there are patrons in this establishment at this point, it seems a little early even for them to be up and having breakfast. There is a
human man behind the bar who is in the process of cleaning and setting a bunch of like tankards and pint glasses and things into a rack behind the bar, who turns as you guys enter. He says, "Oh, bright and early. Welcome. Come. He says, "Welcome to the Drunken Bee. What can I get for you? A bit of breakfast? We've got a porridge on. It'll be a few minutes, but we have some dried berries that we got in special from the capital. We've been putting them in. It's top notch."
I've actually got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. What can I help you with?
We've been traveling pretty hard for the last couple of days from Stone Mill, trying to catch up with a couple of acquaintances of ours. We were wondering if you might have seen them. Group of 3 people. One of them's real big. One of them's a woman in a hood, doesn't speak much.
Would have been in the past day or two.
The big guy is a half orc, right?
I'd have to look. I don't think so, actually.
I think he's just a big human.
I think he's just a big, huge human. He kind of scratches his chin for a minute, thinking, there was a big fellow in here around dinner time last night. Got a pint, kept to himself, and then left. But he was by himself. I didn't see anyone matching the description of the other 2 you've given me.
Did you happen to catch a name?
Yeah. Didn't offer one. I didn't ask.
Fair enough. You guys think we can grab some breakfast to go and start asking around?
I think porridge sounds lovely.
Porridge does sound great.
You.
I'll take the berries.
But the berries are going in the porridge.
I'll just take the berries.
Alright, freak.
Yeah, we'll take a round of porridges, and we'll be on our way.
Do you have any mead?
Just kind of looks around to like the enormous casks that are like behind the bar. He says, "Yes, I do."
Can we get one of those to go as well?
Sure.
Road beers.
Root beers, yeah!
About how much are the casks? Like, what size?
You want
are
to
they?
buy a whole cask? Oh my god!
Root keg, yeah!
We have a.
don't have a lot of money.
Slap it on!
What's a cask cost?
A cask of ale.
What?
Humor me.
This is Mr. Moneybags over here. He's been flipping coppers to everyone he even sees at.
All right.
That's what I think.
Which one of us is supposed to have the drinking problem?
I have an idea.
I'm pretty sure it's all of us.
Yeah, I got a slice of
Except for maybe that one.
Balcony.
Well,
office.
her problem is we can't find
our
root
problem
beer
is
for her.
Yeah, except for those 2 squares.
Hey, root beer's very delicious.
It is, and your problem is you can't find enough of it. That's your drinking problem. You're not drinking enough.
Exactly.
Okay, so he says, well, it depends on the type of ale that you're looking for.
Jesus.
He kind of walks over. He starts indicating some of the casks he has. He says, this is distilled in Niveria. It is oak barrel aged ale. It is one of our most popular items. It is probably the best ale we sell. If you are interested in a cask of this, that will run you about 8 gold. He points at the another set of barrels a little further over. He says, "This is our most commonly sold item. It is imported from Valand. little bit more of a bitterness to this one, but it's quite popular here. This one, I can do 3 gold for a cask of this. And then he points at, or 5 gold for a cask of this. And then he kind of shows you. And this is what I sell to people who don't make a habit of paying their tabs on time. It is piss. 3 gold pieces will get you a barrel of this. Like, it is not literally piss. Kind of like pats the air in front of you.
Are you actually serving piss?
You know, it's been a long couple of days. I feel like the taste of home would be good. If you don't mind, if you could load it into our cart and we're ready to leave, I'd be happy to pay for the Valandian.
Cask of the Valant Stout. Excellent choice. I would be happy to have that brought to your cart. What stall do they have you in?
We've stalled 4.
Stall 4. Excellent. He
Stall Quattro. Which is orcish for 4.
Orcish. Interesting. Quattro. I'll remember that.
You got Salsaghetti here?
I think they only serve that in the capital. We'd have to find a specialty.
Salsaghetti?
A specialty store.
The episode. Is Salsaghetti a trademark thing, or is it like?
It is 100%. It's got to be.
But like,
It's definitely trademarked by like a dude who makes this in his basement in
We'll
like
find
Colombia,
it.
right?
I don't mind it. I don't care.
Right.
I'm sorry, that was a good segue.
Look, when we get to Navario, I might know somebody who might know somebody who can get you Salsaghetti.
Hell yeah.
That's what they're gonna make with those harpy eyes.
Sorry, I guess.
Sniff a little bit and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Dangerously poisonous.
Joke on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if we give you an extra silver, would you mind throwing in some...
Just
Glasses.
throwing away all my money, Walter.
That's
no,
actually
this
an
is-
enormous chunk of what we have left.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
We
just
have, like-
my personal stash.
Don't we have like gold all between us, or is it all collective of land? Only like
I don't know that we really ever
we-
split it up
I think we
after
broke-
we spent our 100 gold on a cart and horse.
So we would have had
The
50
original-
divided by 6,
the
which would have been
original-
8 gold pieces
Yeah.
plus
Plus like
2 gold pieces.
5 or 6 left over each from when we first got money from Torian.
Yep.
Yep.
So you're spending basically all the coin you've got left.
No, I have 14 left after everything.
We only have like 14
We,
total.
we had 100 gold pieces to start from
And then
Torian.
150 from the
but
person,
we
but we
spent
spent
100
100 of it.
So it would
Was
have
that
been
after the discount? I believe we had like a...
Yes, it went from 150 to 100.
I went from
Yeah.
150 to
Okay.
So I mean, if you
How
want-
much was breakfast?
breakfast
someone's skimming the
for
loop here.
breakfast for the group of you is gonna run you about a silver.
Okay, then yeah, I'll
Yeah,
throw in
I'll
a few,
put some
I'll throw in a few
silver
extra
piece.
copper then for like actual cups. I'd like to buy cups so we can actually drink out of these instead of like.
We have cups.
Okay,
You guys have like
everything.
water
We
skins,
have, we
wine
have to have
skins
like
and stuff.
traveling cutlery and stuff like that. We're not just like shoving our
I got
faces in a
score.
pot of stew.
This is the first time I've been so far
that
from
is
home.
a
I'm not used to dealing with
genuine
real money.
issued by the Order of the Radiant Dawn spork. It's even got the sigil.
The handle's even a knife,
Oh,
just all in one.
It's
Everything,
really hard to use because you just cut yourself while you're trying
everything
to
the
use it.
Radiant Dawn makes is also a knife.
Okay, yeah.
Be like, look, man, if I don't have any money left over for
Even the
this
toilet
Salsaghetti,
paper.
I'm not spending
if I
money.
don't, I know if I
Spending
don't.
my cut of the money.
All right, all
Yes,
right.
all society.
Yes, ALR puts down the silver. 6 servings of your fine porridge, sir. And he digs out a copper and one of the Varian meats ales, please.
Coming right up. He says, "Grab a table anywhere you like. I'll have the food out in just a minute, and I will I'll get your drinks for you."
Mostly.
So, you guys spend.
So as the party like moves over the table, I'll leave and be like, you know a guy named Fent?
Fent.
Moreland Fent? That was his name, right? Moreland?
Yeah.
Moreland Fent.
Oh. Yes. He works in the magistrate's office. He's a clerk there. Decent fellow. Comes in a few times a week.
Alright. Thanks.
No problem.
And I could join them. Slide.
So he goes off. 5-10 minutes later, he comes, serves you guys a round of basically a homemade porridge with partially rehydrated berries in it. He gives you a little dish of just the dried berries. It's not salsaghetti.
No, we've got to wait till we get to the capital.
30 or so minutes later, you guys are eaten, you're fed, you've had something to drink. The sun has more fully risen now on the town, and the day is yours.
All right. To the docks.
The ducks.
To the docks.
Away!
Yeah!
Are you riding the Dragonboard or the Goliath? I can't tell.
Probably the Dragonboard. Seem to have a better connection.
All right, so
He just turns me with my horns. That way.
I am your backpack.
Alright, so newly Yoda's Kel, and off you guys go. So, you cross over the town. It takes you about 15 minutes to get from the sort of where you are on the western portion of the town across to the eastern portion. As you approach, the buildings go from homes and shops and things like that to more like warehouses and supply shacks, establishments that sell things that one would need for river travel, fishing supplies, equipment for repairing and maintaining waterborne vessels of various sorts. And of course the docks themselves are sort of a staggered assortment of short piers that stick off anywhere from 10 to 30 to 40 feet out into the river. As you approach, you see that they are very quiet. There is not a lot of activity going on at the docks right now. Most of the piers you see are empty and have vessels stopped in them. You get the impression that this is very much their off season at this point. You see a number of like smaller, oar-powered, like, small fishing boats, things like that, are brought up onto the docks, like covered and tied down. There are a few people going about their business. You do see the occasional vessel. Largely, what vessels you do see here of any size are these sort of long, blocky shaped barges with sort of they appear to have like flat bottoms and sort of square cabins just sort of sat atop them. There are a few of these scattered throughout some of the larger docks, but none of them really appear to be under that flurry of activity like they are like coming in or getting ready to leave for a voyage. They just you see a few of them moored here. About halfway down the length of the docks, you come to another
fairly large-sized establishment that has the look of a tavern and an inn. There is a sign hanging over this one that matches the description that you had gotten from James back at the the Drunken Bees stables. It says the Quanter's Oasis, and it has a sort of a little picture of a man with a long pole, as if he's like pushing it through water.
On any of the barges, did I see if any of them were marked with the Moxon Trading Company?
Sure, make an investigation check.
Not Vice Chair. Sorry, I was on the wrong page. 15.
None of the vessels appear to be branded as such. You do see there are a number of the there's a number of like crates and things stacked around. There are quite a few among other trade company insignias, as well as the royal insignia of like the Mythlindian crown. You do see a number of places where goods, or in some cases like basically like shipping crates and stuff, have the Moxham Trading and Mercantile brand burned into them.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Do I notice him like looking around stuff?
He's just looking around at stuff the same as the rest of you are.
Like he's instantly though looking at like
Are you
Crates
are you-
and barges.
are you-
I'm keeping an eye, like looking around for stuff, and seeing if I recognize anything.
I just felt like I don't know if it was like you were looking at something more specific. I was gonna ask you like.
See if they can catch a ride, cheap discount possibly. Maybe someone else from the company's here might be able to get discount travel to the city once we're done here. Could be helpful. We gotta leverage our assets as much as we can.
Should we head in?
Yeah, let's see what we can find out.
Alright, so you guys turn. Nula, like, it's a hand on the door. You start to move to make your way in. As you're entering the building, a little ways down the docks, as you're kind of turning in, you sort of look. A figure comes around from between two buildings out onto the docks. It is a female form wearing heavy robes with a hood pulled over her head. Similar to the garb of Rana, the female portion of Rogers and the Boys.
So I go.
Sailor, having never seen Rogers or the boys, makes a kind of gives a side eye. That one of them.
Could be.
All right. Well, I've never seen them. More importantly, they've never seen me. Excuse me. Sailor is going to head up a ways, then turn off to go between a few buildings.
Okay.
And once he's going to make sure he's alone, he's going to cast Disguise Self to make himself look more human.
Okay. So you turn into a human-looking person. Meanwhile, as you guys are outside the Quanter's Oasis, this individual is walking in your direction. What are you guys doing?
Head on in for a pint and see where
She's walking in our direction.
coming towards you.
Oh, yeah, duck in real quick.
You
Yeah.
were not with us when we met them?
I think I was.
I don't think so.
Can you keep an eye on her and bull-headed?
I duck in real quick.
Yeah.
So the rest of us are going to duck in and...
Make stealth checks.
Oh. 9.
Cool. That's a natural.
Okay.
I mean,
Right to the wall.
it makes sense.
Kool-Aid Man.
Okay.
You guys are
Blend.
lucky because I rolled a 23.
Blend in.
Rom.
I mean, just plant
Kel,
myself to the
Nula,
wall.
move in. Walter kind of moves off to the side. Osrius, you like sort of jet to move in. The door frame is like a foot too short from you, and you just like crack into it as you gotta move. There is a quick like. You see two. There's almost like a shine, almost like cat's eyes, as you see Rana looks up, like looks at you, and then tilts the head like this, and just turns and starts walking down an alley away from you guys, out of your sight.
I'm gonna follow her.
I'll also follow. Alright.
Going around her, kind of in front of her.
Alright, so Rana has spotted Osrius and is now making her way away. Alar has moved around and is attempting to kind of come after her. Walter and Brahm both move in opposite directions to try and sort of go after her another way. And that's where we'll leave off for tonight. So, thank you everybody for joining us tonight for Tabletop Legends. Yes, I will pass out cards so that our cast can vote for tonight's Golden D20. For our viewers at home, we had a handful last time I looked. If you are still with us at this point, please feel free to
Vote.
comment in the chat if there is anybody you want to vote for the Golden D20. As I remember that my thing of index cards is directly underneath my dang microphone,
So you won't lose it.
so I won't lose it. Take those, start passing them around.
And surprisingly, I need a pencil.
I was not
Yay. Thank you.
I'm just
No, it's
this like using.
So, I would like to, as they do their voting, and we see if the chat has any votes, I would like to thank you guys all for joining us. Thank you to Proficiency Bonus for hosting us each week, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Please, please, please look us up on YouTube. We are Tabletop Legends on YouTube, and all of our episodes go up there 1 week after they stream live on Mondays before the new episode comes out Tuesday at 7 right here on Twitch TV /Proficiency Bonus. Thank you. Give us a subscribe there, so if you miss an episode or if you need to catch up, you can watch all of our past stuff there.
You want to watch the episodes over and over again.
Or you can watch them 100 times over, on repeat every day for the rest of forever.
Do nothing else.
Just do it.
You can binge.
Thank you to Proficiency Bonuses sponsor Streamlabs, the Twitch affiliate program, Many-Sided Dice, and Team MZ for supporting the channel. And thank you to Marble Moon Studio and the 8th House. Kickstarters now, right? There's a new one?
There is going to be a new one that launches July 2nd for Marble Moon Studio Tarot. The Marble Moon Tarot.
Cards. Get your tarot cards.
Check out Marble Moon's
will
Instagram
be-
for all. I've been seeing
Yes,
sneak peeks.
yes.
at the
Actually,
cards.
she just released a sneak peek of the tarot deck, and there is actually a vote going on to whether have silver gilding on the edges or green gilding.
Ooh.
It's up to the people.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
Your voice can be heard.
Your voice can be heard, but also you better vote for free.
Yes. So follow her.
Vote silver.
Follow Marble Moon Studio on Instagram
I'm gonna go
to
vote right after this show.
to see the Kickstarter show up on July 2nd. Also, the 8th House is still taking pre-orders for their tarot deck as well.
Tarot decks. Use them for a deck of many things. Or actually use them for tarot, I guess,
Yes.
theoretically.
Yes, definitely.
Use them to
line a birdcage, whatever you
Yeah,
want. Just
whatever
buy
you
them.
wanna do, just do it.
Just buy it.
I'd
long as you
not-
buy
I'd
it.
not recommend it for lining birdcage.
Still available. Shop the 8th House and MarbleMoonStudio.com. The Tabletop Legends Magic AF mug. Also the Magic AF, I believe, without the Tabletop Legends. Also, all sorts of other crap that you can buy. Do it. Give us your money. Well, it's not us. Give them your money.
Give everybody your money.
Small local business.
Support a local business. They make really cool stuff. There's like water bottles,
D&D water bottles,
hoodies, all sorts of stuff you can buy.
Good.
They have some really cool designs and stuff. I highly recommend you check them out and buy all of their things. And I think that is it, right? Yes, maybe?
Yep.
Okay.
Done with the plugs.
Cool.
Yeah, we're done shamelessly pitching things. We have a vote for Nula for Bugbear Family Love. Let me get chat up here. I have a vote from the chat for Nula.
Is it Owlbear?
Hey.
Sorry, Owlbear. My bad. That was me.
What'd you think?
I said Bugbear.
Oh, Bugbear's a
Owlbear.
different thing. Oh, did I read
Owlbear.
Bugbear and not realize it?
No, I put Bugbear.
Oh, okay.
That's my fault. Sorry.
Various bears.
I have a second vote for Nula for diplomacy. I have a vote for Nula for hostage negotiation.
Oh.
I have Alar for does that hit?
That's
I always think of that meme where it's like, it's like that chicken SpongeBob where it's like your players, does it 23 hit? Curtis
What?
for Spaghetti Gate.
Yeah! Never used my real name.
The Salsaghetti Gate. That's
Salsaghetti?
Salsaghetti.
Oh, Salsaghetti Gate.
Couldn't write my character's name?
No, because it was specifically a vote for you.
And Nula for literally 2 votes that both say Nula for Owlbear hostage negotiation.
Oh.
And one from the chat for
Don't know
Nula,
what they're talking about.
which running away with it. Nula is our golden D20.
Hey, look, you got to use it twice.
There you go.
Tune in next week when
Use
people
it
on our
wisely.
show learn the difference
Better
between
yet,
an owlbear and a bugbear.
Use it not so wisely.
Alrighty. So thank you for joining us. We will see you
Thank you.
next week. Find us on all our social media and follow us there. We got sweet memes now.
Smash that like button and follow.
Smash that like button. See you next week. Bye.